The Driving While Awesome podcast is recorded live to SD card at the Beeline Motor Club in Santa Cruz, California.
Welcome to... Ollie, can I help you? Welcome to Driving While Awesome. My name is
He's a very important man.
I'm Lane.
This is Ali.
And I'm Nick.
This is part of the Haggerty Podcast Network. So, Nick, we're going to bring energy.
Yeah, we're bringing energy
talking
and
into the mic.
Talk into the mic.
and lemon flavored snack pies.
Which mic are you on over there?
Not
4. Okay, I
Four?
might want to turn that
Crank that
Do you
one
need
up
to,
a tiny bit, just a little bit. Nudge it.
I'm all over the place, man. I had a couple drinks, like the podcast prior to this one. I feel like I was really loud, and then
Whoop.
Remember the last time I was on with Nick, he wouldn't stop talking?
Oh, that was a long time ago. But
that was, I think, the drinks. That was the drinks episode.
But then I think the last one with Art and Nick and I, he was a little timid, a little quiet.
Oh, really?
It really, I think it has a lot.
That's a great story, but you don't need to whisper about it.
I think it has a lot to do with my blood alcohol content. I'll be honest.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, I think it's
All right. Well, welcome. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah,
Ollie brought treats.
I'm happy to.
I
make
hardly
the
think
track.
this is like more like a treat for a
it
dog.
literally.
I stopped at 7-Eleven to get a bottle of water, and these inspired me at the register.
Impulse
It's a-
purchase.
It's a snack.
They're like home run pies. Did anyone here partake in
Yeah.
home run pies
Yeah.
at junior high?
Yeah,
Yeah, they were
Wax
popular.
paper.
I think they were 25
yeah, with the
cents
like
when
waxy
we were
paper.
kids.
No.
Yeah, they were. Yeah, they were
think
like
so.
25 cents.
Wow, 20. Hey, maybe you're right.
I think so.
You remember the price point on these bad boys, Ollie?
$40.
I don't even look.
So these are. I have an
When's the
apple snack pie, and it expires tomorrow.
I'm surprised
They're
they
actually
even call
all
it a
expire tomorrow. Like,
That's
Maybe
so
that's why they were
gnarly.
at the
Shouldn't these
register.
never expire?
or is that
I don't know.
That's terrifying.
Or is this a
dude.
born on date?
a production date? Yeah.
Ollie, when's the last time you looked at prices at the store?
Ooh.
Depends on for what.
Like grocery store. Other than like high-end, liquor or wine or something.
I don't buy high-end liquor or wine or cheap liquor or
So
wine.
get back to the question.
He only buys Mike's
Stop
Hard
avoiding.
Lemonade.
I do look at like meat prices.
Big meat guy.
Ribeye or whatever the cut is.
So
should
what's the
have
price
appropriate-
lately?
I mean, it
He has
depends
no
on.
idea.
It's like $18.99 a pound for
Yeah.
dry aged ribeye from Whole Foods.
Mm-hmm.
It feels cheap for a dry aged ribeye.
Yeah, prime ribeye from Costco's usually around $20 a pound.
But other than that, as you slyly open your pie box,
I have no idea. I mean,
Yeah.
okay, eggs are around the eggs that we buy.
Dude, they're like $8 now, right?
Yeah, the Vital Farm eggs are generally $7 to $8
Per egg.
gallon.
a gallon of eggs. Yeah,
A dozen.
Are you drinking pig milk these days?
No, it's just primarily no milk.
Go straight
No
from
milk.
I mean, not really, unless
Nope.
I'm having a bowl of cereal or something.
Possum milk.
That's hard to get, but it's good too. Okay, I'm just checking in.
Santa
Yeah.
Cruz has a lot of possums, so you can get,
That's true. Yeah,
you can milk them yourself.
they come to Morning Motors sometimes.
Yeah.
And when this comes out, Morning Motors will have already passed.
True.
Oh, that's true. Yeah,
It's
yeah.
been a nice day though.
Sunday.
It was great.
It was awesome.
All the
Oh,
people
you
that
know
came
what? We had El Chewy food truck there, I think.
Oh.
I
Did
think
you line
we
that up?
hopefully-
I'm pretty sure they were there.
Please there.
Yeah.
Okay.
What about the coffee situation?
I don't know about that one yet.
Alta?
Didn't get back to me
I
yet.
Alta
couldn't make it.
coffee?
I went skiing.
What did you just say?
Sorry.
You're gonna go. Ski.
Can we-
went skiing.
I mean, you guys were all
you
talking
didn't
in the
ski
future.
shit, dude.
I'm not going skiing. Hell no, I'm not going skiing.
What are you doing?
I'm taking my family skiing so I could have about 4 hours of alone time in the car while they ski.
Did the
In the
Mexican
car? You just sit in the car?
I
In
mean,
the cabin.
You got to be one of those
House?
lodge dads with like
No,
the
no,
setup
this-
looking
this
out the
one-
window, all
this-
lonely.
Yeah.
so this time we're actually driving to my brother-in-law's house in Davis and then doing a day trip up to the ski resort and back. And then I'll probably just be hanging out in the lodge.
You going to Tahoe?
Sugar Bowl.
Okay.
So it's
Yeah.
not
It's
not
Tahoe.
that far. It's trucky technically.
Yeah.
It's kind of
Water.
we're having an insane winter for the listeners, the viewers, and one of the cruel situations that's going on is that there's more snow than ever, and yet you can't
get there.
to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yosemite is still shut down
I think it's very
indefinitely?
limited, open, very limited
okay.
areas.
Okay.
I think it's actually still indefinitely shut down because a couple of roads just eroded away.
ROADs?
ROADs.
Well, then in Tahoe, they have like the Safeway or something is red tagged because of the snow on the roof.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
So I
on the
always
south side, I
figured
think.
you'd have trouble getting to the store based on road conditions and snow, but you can get to the store. You just can't go in.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can go into the store, but the roof might
Put that one in
collapse.
the joke book, dude.
That wasn't a joke. That was real, dude.
Facts.
Real life. Tax.
I said facts. Big
facts.
facts.
So I was looking at these are pretty cool. They're only 400 calories each.
390.
400 for the lemon.
45% of your daily saturated fat.
I mean, I could be more.
By the way, dried
60% of the
real
sugar.
apples in here. That's kind of nice.
Real tocopherols.
Good job. 7-Eleven brand anything. I haven't been to 7-Eleven in a long time. They've been pushing their car
It's pretty
scene.
good. I just had a little
Dude,
piece
the
of
car.
lemon.
So I went to buy a bunch of that stuff the other day
Why?
because it's rad. Dude, you see the one with the like AE86 in the parking
Yeah,
lot or
yeah.
whatever?
Huh?
It's pretty dope, dude.
Dude, there
This
was
is
a
the most
CRXSI.
Yeah, CRXSI. That's what it was.
This is the most unlane
What?
top.
Isn't there
Why?
a 7?
Japanese cars at a 7-Eleven.
It's so cool, dude. It's 7-Eleven. It's such a weird scene that it's super cool.
I know. I think it's big in Japan that this is a place to hang out and
7-Eleven?
And they have like
car
a
stuff.
they have like a shift knob pattern. It says 7-Eleven Car Club, and they make little.
Yeah.
Dude,
Wow,
it's
all right.
dope, dude.
Like
Should we
the
announce that this is
epoxy shift.
potentially camping while awesome on driving while awesome.
Yeah, sure, dude.
What
Driving,
are you gonna start recording Camping While Awesome again?
driving while camping while awesome.
We're thinking about
We're waiting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
We're thinking
with
about
bated breath.
The ball's in your court.
Should we talk about
What?
some innovations that spring's coming?
Yes. I before you get to yours.
Yeah, because you guys have a format here.
Well, not really, but I had I
let you
had
finish.
one on the way over here that I'm going to run it by you. Okay?
by Nick
And
me.
Nick,
Okay.
both of you.
All right.
Not
Where am I at?
no, you're out. But
I'm out.
but think about it before you answer. I don't want this Ali just where he's like,
I've already got an answer.
you're fired. Like that's all he says every time.
God no.
So camper shell, standard truck cap they call them. Which
Okay.
I don't like that. I call them camper shells.
like a nice clean Lear top or
Lear,
like
yeah, whatever.
Okay.
Lear,
Okay.
simple, right? Flat roof, not a big extended tall thing.
Does a decent job of following body lines.
Totally fine.
Yep.
But this one, the roof opens either in a opens like that, or it folds to allow you to walk into the back of the truck to load bicycles, refrigerators. So it's a convertible camper shell. He's thinking. Lane has no thoughts.
I have tons of thoughts.
You wait.
All I picture is it leaking a lot.
Refrigerators?
You're gonna use
Yep.
fabric.
So you can still use it
No,
as a truck.
it's a
too.
hard top
So you're
that-
saying so you can still use it as
Yeah.
a truck if you want to,
You can use it as a camper shell all the time.
but you can also use it as a truck sometimes because you could put tall stuff. out.
Exactly. You can do a dump run.
I mean, it's not the dumbest idea you ever had.
Thanks, man.
Oh, you mean it just flips to
Just the roof would be able to open and maybe go on its sides. And so
Oh,
now
yeah,
you can,
yeah, yeah.
now the top has
Okay.
no top.
Are you describing a product that exists or
I just thought of
I
something
think it's a
that
great
you've
idea.
imagined?
If it's not,
We'll
too
file
heavy.
a patent, dude. We're doing this right now. So
Okay. Okay.
Great.
All right, let's work on that. Anyways,
Yeah.
that was on my way over here. I thought about that because I want a camper shell, but there are times where I want to be able to walk in the back of the truck to load things, or I don't know. I just want the ability to do that. And once you put a camper shell on, if you wanted to put let's say you're moving washer and dryer, you're then on your knees pushing that thing in. You're
I think
like
the only challenge is that you need a rear bulkhead. You can't.
yeah, but that's
right? And
okay.
you kind of still have to get under the rear bulkhead to get up and into the thing.
Oh, you're saying to tie in the back where the
Well, you need a front hoop and a rear hoop.
right. So
Right?
maybe that's
Otherwise
like
it just
a
becomes like it's just
a
going to
it's
fall
a
disconnect.
floppy mess.
Floppy.
maybe it's something you could disconnect and reconnect.
That's also possible, but you have to. So, the closest analogy that I could think of is the racket truck racks
Yeah.
with the removable rear bar. The only reason they can remove the rear bar like that is because the rest of the rack has like the steel structure.
Sturdy. Yeah.
Right. But anything less than something like that would be super wobbly. And they don't even recommend that they don't want you to load the rack up without that bar in place.
Right. So maybe it is a bar that comes in and out just for those times. Yeah. Is this something to noodle on?
But then, I mean, at that point, who's that Illuma cab or whatever that makes that really nice modular top? Mm-hmm. They should just make it with like 2 removable panels on the roof.
Yeah.
Right? Where you just like unclip them and then they have a place to store.
Yep.
They don't have to fold. It'll be kind of just
Sarga style.
To put them somewhere.
Yeah. It's a good idea.
Okay.
Get a Illuma cab, bring it on over. I'll get the Sawzall out. We'll make it
perfect. Yeah. Just cut that thing out. No problem.
Easy peasy.
So I want a little more tartness in my apple pie. But
now's the time for the snack pie review?
No, it's not time.
Oh, it's always time. Can I try that lemon?
Yeah,
then?
dude, go for it.
You want to try the apple?
No, I'm good. I've had the apple before.
Oh,
you dabbling?
okay.
You've dabbled with these before?
Not as fresh rodeo.
I
These
think
taste just like home run pies. The old
last,
school ones.
I bet you it is probably.
The last time we went to Tahoe a few weeks ago and we got snowed in, the one time I had a chance to go somewhere was that little 7-Eleven over there by, I forgot, north side somewhere.
You just went hard pies?
Well, no, my wife sent me to get some stuff and she was like, get some snacks too.
Yeah, like healthy stuff.
Yeah,
You know?
no, she didn't ask for anything healthy.
There's actually not really any tartness in the lemon either.
Yeah.
Well, you expect it to be a sweet lemon.
Yeah, it's just all sugar.
It's more of a Meyer lemon.
I expected a little bit of tartness, actually.
Well, you expected too much
Your
from your pies.
expectations are too high.
Yeah, curb your expectations. All right, so you didn't just bring these pies to... Dude, look at Lane. What a just fighting son of a gun. What else you got?
Some gadgets I saw.
Wait a second. Okay. Oh. All right, here. So I brought a few things.
Ali is pulling some contraptions.
Looks like a
off
fishing
the ground.
rod.
I'm gonna pull them out in progression of, I would say, level of impressiveness or how impressed I was when I first deployed it.
Okay, yeah, we'll be the
The
judge of
first one is made by a company. I think all of these are made by Firebugs.
Terrible name.
UGGZ.
2 G's and a Z.
I would say that these guys are on the very tip of innovation when it comes to s'mores technology.
They're like the Taco Bell of s'mores.
I have 4 of these relatively mundane and interesting looking s'mores sticks. Lane, you've already played with this.
Okay. Yep. I played.
But the premise here is that as you rotate, the s'more rotates on its own, so you get like full coverage.
Mm-hmm. So first thing I'm seeing
roasting.
Here,
and it's all really nicely done, sturdy stainless steel.
Wood handle.
Telescoping.
Real wood handle.
Multiple colors.
Family 4-pack.
So this is for you, those of you listening. This is a like your s'more rod or whatever you would call it.
Stick.
And it has this little.
It's like a pivoting head.
Yeah.
It's also telescoping like an antenna,
Yes.
which is good.
And this pivoting head kind of over centers itself every time you rotate it. And as a result, it gives the marshmallow 360 spherical degrees of access to the fire.
But in theory, if you have it just on a stick straight on the end, you're spinning it.
Yeah,
it's
absolutely. But
spherically-
this one you can do 2.
Yeah, so this is you're doubling your marshmallow
It's just a fancy situation.
capacity.
But this is just a teaser. This is
not
not
bad.
the important
Well, you can
one.
also get the ends too.
So
you can't do
One
another
end.
one.
Not
Yeah.
really. You'd have to go like
yeah, this gets the ends because
because
sometimes
it's on the side.
because the
Yeah.
fire is not below. It's oftentimes the
I love how you're explaining the fire to me.
Can we get a diagram?
Yeah. But
So-
if the fire's here and
All
your
right.
stick's here, you're
next
putting
one.
it
Next one.
the end.
Next one.
Okay.
This one is in the shape of a fishing pole.
Yes.
Like straight up.
Yeah, that one was
Okay.
that one was perplexing
So
to me.
this is
So this
more
one
of a-
also keep in mind you can do shrimp, you can do hot dogs, you can do shrimp, all kinds.
gross.
It's in the
So
ad.
the cool thing
You could-
about this is that you get it right in the center of the fire, right?
Yeah. It's not very long. I'll
Yeah,
say
it's
that.
all right.
But
It's
if
all
the
right.
flames
It's a
are-
manageable
Doesn't telescope.
campfire.
Yeah,
but the
manageable campfire.
So the one trick is to figure out how to get your marshmallow rotated.
Yeah.
You just jib it.
So Ali is,
Try it out.
for the listeners,
Oh,
Ali's
Lord.
flicking his jib.
It's a flick of the wrist.
Oh, it does work.
You're pretty good at it.
Yeah.
First try, lefty too. Yeah, It's
Wow.
not very long, but I do like the idea of
But it hangs low.
Bit of a short boy.
low. And so, why do you have two barbs on one side and one on the other
Well, you do shrimp on one side, marshmallows on the other.
It just depends on what you're
on
doing.
the Barbie?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not as impressed by this, but yep,
Whoa.
Pretty fun.
it's pretty cool.
fun.
It's pretty.
I
cool.
thought that one was pretty high quality.
Not bad.
Yeah. Also, the quality on both of these so far
Is
are
this-
really great.
Is this a Firebugs situation?
These are both Firebugs. So the next one I'm going to show you is definitely not Firebugs quality, but it probably has the best idea. I would argue
Concept?
worst execution of a great idea.
Okay.
Telescoping, rotating handle.
I don't see
Oh,
anything wrong
man.
with this.
With a worm.
This is amazing.
There's a
This
worm
looks-
gear in that
so
bad boy.
For the listeners, it looks like a fishing pole and a rod, but the rod twists said prongs,
Yeah.
And it telescopes.
and it does telescope.
That's
And it is the cheapest of all of them at like $3.
So what's your problem with this?
wow.
Is this
It's
Alibaba
just
or
kind
where'd
of
you
like
get it?
plasticky.
Well, it's
Amazon.
definitely plastic.
I mean, it's basically almost one-time use.
Oh, I don't know about that. You think so?
I mean, it depends on how careful you are.
I
Why
mean,
did they make it this shape? It's so
Well,
weird.
exactly. It's not something I'm happy
it's
about.
not ergonomic.
We need we need
Everything
a
about
Tiger
it
stick.
is just horrible except for that little gear. And every part of me is tempted to just take it apart and 3D print a new, nicer assembly for
Don't
it.
bother, dude. This thing's rad.
Yeah, I think that one's my favorite. Maybe Lane's favorite as well. The other ones are cool, but they're pretty gimmicky.
I like the little jig one. I like the.
I like the
fishing
jib
pole.
one. I would definitely take the jib one and just try it out.
I just guarantee you, like I would do it. I'd be like, check it out, and then everything would fall
Yeah,
into the
yeah.
fire.
Yeah.
This one is also the
Yeah,
most
zero chance that
gentle
doesn't
to
happen.
the mushrooms.
To the mushrooms.
Yeah.
To the
Well,
mushrooms.
that's, you could also roast mushrooms. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's almost like a hot dog situation. How
You got, and by the way, note the really well executed gear ratio.
Yeah. No, I was going to say it's pretty nice.
I don't think you could put anything more than a marshmallow on that weight wise. Like, look at how chintzy
Yeah.
that connection is to that.
Yeah, it's definitely I would say the cheapest, and perhaps one of these days I'll get bored enough to make a high quality version.
I think
I'm
what
trying
would
to
be
figure
fun-
out what the ratio is here.
Well, what do you want?
I just noticed that Nick got a mill.
Oh.
Email. Nice, dude.
Yeah. It's been here for some time and
So,
still hasn't been trimmed in.
What I think you should do is with that thing is just bring it out super nonchalant.
Yeah.
Not, like, don't
In
even
front of an audience?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Exactly. But basically, like you've always had that, and that's the only way you know how to roast marshmallows is with this little contraption, and just bring it out. That's the wow factor, I think. With
Well,
that.
I think the
real
real
casual.
wow factor is to make a nice one that's like kind of durable and like
I mean, yeah, you can get
fishing
fishing gear gets very expensive. If you want to go with like
I
legit.
would not. I would literally just take a little worm gear. I would 3D print a worm gear assembly to a handle and then attach it
see.
to a steel.
You should go with like a real deal. I have another idea with something like this. We'll talk off air. It's too good for the podcast.
Oh,
I don't,
wait a
You're
second.
concerned about the IP?
yeah. It's not camping related.
What if we combine these two?
That's not bad.
Oh, that's nice.
That's not
yeah,
bad.
the first little like kind of whatever real good build quality. Mm-hmm. Then I
Oh,
basically build.
but then
a
you don't
little
have to
gear
rotate
handle
it yourself?
Yeah. Yep.
Here.
Yeah.
I think that's the trick.
Yeah.
I like it.
I still don't know about that flipper guy.
Oh, the fishing
Flip
pole one?
flack, yeah.
I mean, they're all like fishing poles, but
Yeah. It's nice.
Anyways, that was that segment.
that was that.
It's good, actually.
Thank you. Thank you.
A
Ellie.
gadget. I feel like a gadget segment might be
Yeah,
missing.
yeah.
You know,
That was nice. That was very nice. Should we answer questions?
S'more Tech reviews with Ali.
You could have at least branded it. Yeah.
Yeah. Don't you have any like
You're the CWA 5-minute or something?
oh yeah, all these camping
While
updates.
awesome. Yeah.
Are you guys down to answer some questions?
Yeah, let's go for it.
All right, let's do it. Ditto's dad says, have dates for Sierra Range Rally been set? And then Ryan Reddy said, guessing with the crazy snowpack and damaged roads, it's going to be a while. You are correct.
Ding, ding, ding.
Well, I think we can safely do something late in the summer, but what roads are going to look like is the big question. Yeah, Ollie, are you checking the roads right now?
I'm not checking the roads right now.
Okay, I'll just wait till you're finished. You're finished. Okay, good. But we'd like to get something set, like a save the date, and then we can see whatever's available. So we're working on it.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Save the date.
Save the date.
Save the date.
Save the date.
Listeners,
Save
as
the
as a listener on the podcast,
Listeners as the listener.
I will say, chime in if you want a hub and spoke rally from the Yosemite area.
You get out of here.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, there's the roads.
The
ROADs.
They're
Yeah.
amazing.
But they're not
Yes.
good right now.
Not right
usable.
now. I'm talking about when we do
In the
rally.
future.
Yes. Okay. Thank
And
you.
such
Thank
as
you.
is.
Thank you, Ali. SB Expert says, Ali, how's the electric trailer biz going? What is your main push for? Recreational trailers or commercial trailers?
Go to the website, range.energy.
Oh, Jesus. So, yes, range.energy is our website. And we originally started off thinking a lot about recreational trailers, boat trailers, campers, RVs, race car trailers, all of that stuff, and knowing that it could help folks like me with electric trucks, Rivians and Lightnings. But really, really quickly, we saw how important this technology is to commercial trucking, and we looked immediately to find out what sector in commercial trucking this technology would have the biggest kind of greenhouse gas reduction impact, and it was very clearly Class 8 trucking.
That's big semi-truck trailers.
Big 18-wheelers, the biggest ones on the road. And so we're pointed in that direction very, very specifically right now, developing a new version of an 18-wheel trailer, which is specifically called a 53-foot dry van. And it'll be powered, it'll be propelled, it'll do a lot of really cool things. First indications are showing that we're between 40 and 50% better fuel economy just by hooking up to our trailers for an existing diesel tractor. So it's hopefully going to be a big deal, and hopefully we can scale it up and get it to everybody.
And then that pays for the fun stuff.
Yes.
And we can do
And Project Car Update. We have a 2023
Yep.
Freightliner Cascadia
That's right.
the Cascadias
Sleeper.
are the best.
Sleeper.
sleeper
I love the Cascadia.
with a all white.
Yeah, with that grill.
Yeah, we're doing full
I've never seen one.
What?
I mean,
The
They are the
First
best
of all,
looking.
I probably have.
First
I
of all,
can't
it's a
remember.
Daimler product.
Oh, Freightliner.
Freightliner.
Yeah, right. Because they made
And-
those Sprinter vans for a minute. Like
Yeah.
there was a weird
They
crossover.
were
Yeah.
branded
Yeah.
Freightliner
Yeah.
because they came through Daimler Trucking, which was only
Right.
Freightliner at
Right,
that
right.
time. But yeah, brand new Freightliner Cascadia. We went to look for a day cab and realized that there's nothing available.
Do they have a Targa or anything?
No, day cab is the one that's basically no sleeper in the back. It's the kind of shorter one.
Yep.
And after looking for a couple of weeks, I found two brand new Cascadias in Florida. I called one dealership, and they said, yes, it's available. And I called the second dealership, and he said, the guy before you just bought it from me. So no, it's not available anymore. Then I called the first dealership back, and we got that first one. We bought the last Freightliner Cascadia that we could find in the United States. I'm sure there
Dang.
are others now.
Look at this happy jerk off driving it.
Yeah, and the big dilemma I have
That's
is
a
that
day
like
cab?
it's
No, that's a
full.
sleeper.
That's the sleeper.
That's a full bunk sleeper.
Oh, I see. You were trying to find a day
We were
cab.
trying to find a day cab. The only thing we could find was a full sleeper.
Yeah, yeah. Which is kind of fun. Now you got a nest. Go back there and take
Yeah,
little naps.
Dude.
That's where Simon is
We're
now.
filling, we're filling it. We're filling it with test equipment, and we're instrumenting the Freightliner, putting fuel flow meters and a whole bunch of other instrumentation on the tractor so that we can quantify directly what the trailer is doing, both good and bad. But yeah, that was it was really, really interesting buying it because it was probably the funnest large vehicle I could ever imagine buying. But then I can't even drive it because you
Yeah.
need to have a commercial driver's license. And so I've driven it around the parking lot and done laps in the parking lot at least, 10 times. But hopefully someday I'll get my commercial license.
Dude, that is so they're automatics now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's actually, so Lane, I was telling Lane, it's almost like a first gen,
Like E-Gear or something.
yeah, it's almost like if you put the first gen SMG in a 7 Series, where you kind of like softened everything up so that it shifts really kind of slow and like kind of elegantly.
Yeah.
But I mean, the nice thing is that the industry is pretty honest with themselves, and they call it an automated manual.
Right.
So it's just a robot shifting
Like
the.
Yeah, exactly.
Smart car style.
Exactly.
How many speeds? Because the manuals were like
This one is
12
18 or
I think they
something.
still, yeah, it's still the
I think this
same.
one's 17
same
or
gear set
19,
probably,
something
yeah.
like that.
It's just a
you're in like 60
robo
or
shifter.
Yeah, I mean,
miles an hour.
in the parking lot, literally, like I will pull away from the parking spot to move the tractor, and by the time it gets to like 1 or 2 miles an hour, it's in second gear.
Yeah, that's crazy. And so with that, you also got a trailer.
Yeah, now we have two 53-foot Great Dane Champion CP. CP stands for composite panel.
Heck yeah.
53-foot trailers. Both of them will be electrified by the end of the year, and the first one's actually going to be electric and on the ground
Within a month.
with our own powertrain and all of that stuff within a month. And we will in May we're going to be taking it down to this big kind of commercial trucking. They call it the Advanced Clean Technologies Expo, and that's kind of where a lot of these like clean regulations and new clean products are announced and shown. So that'll be our big.
Where's that?
In Anaheim.
Nice.
We're actually doing our launch dinner at downtown Disney at the new bowling alley there.
Well, of course.
What is it
you
called,
do.
Lane?
I got my Mickey Mouse ears.
Oh, good. You guys get your matching shirt?
What is it called? What's that place called?
Luxury.
No,
Splitsville Luxury Lanes.
Splitsville
luxury lanes.
And yeah, one other thing while we're talking about range, I'm going to embarrass Lane here. Lane's been kind of helping with this since day one.
I work for the company, but
I mean, but he's really
with the bowling alley reservation.
with the
Yeah.
bowling rally reservation.
Luxury lane
that
at the
was whole
luxury
thing. It's
lanes.
Like when we get launched,
day one,
Yeah.
we'll go to downtown Disney.
No, but
gonna show
a huge
everyone
shout
up.
out to Lane.
Thank you.
All of our visual assets, our graphics, our logo, the website. Please go check out our website, range.energy. All of that stuff is huge thanks to Lane. And
All of the early concept trailer styling.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
definitely. So anyways,
shouts out.
that's range.
Okay. Vamskris1 says, "Hey DWA team, loved meeting Lane at the January 29th morning motor event with my white E30. As a proud owner of an E30 and a 5th gen 4Runner, I'd like your thoughts on how they form a 2-car garage setup for daily use, adventures, and track days. Could you rate my setup 1 through 10 and suggest improvements or modifications to make it even better? Thanks and keep up the awesome work."
Nice.
Rate that setup.
Dude.
That's kind of my world right now. I have a Tundra and a
Very
E30
close. Yeah,
or
very close.
E36.
Yeah, so that's like a pretty new 4Runner?
yeah, very new.
I think that's at first I was thinking I didn't know what year it was.
No, it's like less than 10 years old.
Yeah, so that takes a little bit, like it's definitely a nice, like comfortable place to be.
Yeah.
Decently comfortable. Because that's what I would be scared of with
Would
an
you
older
ever need
4Runner.
to tow the E30 with the
Oh,
4Runner? Oh yeah.
Oh yeah,
Definitely.
yeah. That's the
Good.
5th gen. Yeah.
Yeah, you could. The 4Runner's got a 7,700 pound towing capacity or
Yeah.
something like that.
And is that a V8 or
I
Unspecified
think it was, there was optional.
engine and drivetrain. So we don't know if it's 4x4.
It looks 4x4.
Yeah, it does. Very good 2-car setup, 2-car solution.
Yeah.
Kind of cover all bases. You have something that's old, analog, manual, cool.
Don't overdo the overlanding gear.
Exactly. And if you do, use the hell out of it. Make it dirty and used looking. Don't have like those perfect
Pristine shovels.
and those little
And,
skids, to like go.
Oh, yeah, you carry
Yeah.
the skids.
They're like brand new, never been used. You never
yeah.
know when you'll need them. Big winch, never been used.
Tchotchkes all over the place, like an old Land Rover.
It's not good.
By the way, 1962 Land Rover, first door mobile factory, North American spec, going to be for sale soon. If you are interested,
Run out and buy that.
Taking all those,
hurry up!
taking all those bumper stickers off of it.
No,
No.
Taking all the bird crap?
Absolutely not.
Bird crap's going with it?
Included with this,
Dude, it's
included in the
called
sale.
Patina for a reason.
No, it's
So
called
back to this. I think that's a pretty good
Patina.
2-car solution.
Patinated.
I like
do
it.
too.
I mean,
I
it's
like
hard to like fault it.
1 through 10. 1 out of. Let's see. I'm sorry. On a scale of 1 to 10, I'm gonna give it a.
7.
I was gonna say an 8.
I'm
Oh,
okay.
yeah, it's
Solid
pretty
8.
up there. Yeah,
solid.
it's pretty up there.
You substitute like E30 for a 944.
Yeah.
Whatever you're feeling, but
Yeah, and I think you can also like.
pretty solid.
There's room for modification
Self, the
here.
GT4 would bring it up to like a 9 or a 10.
No.
The GT4 does make pleasurable whooshing noises.
Pleasurable.
Or how about this? GR Corolla.
No, that's even more boring.
Yeah, no, I don't know. They're moving backwards
All right,
pretty
I'm
fast.
Just throwing stuff out there, dude.
What I would
Throwing
say
it
is
out
that
there.
like the only way it goes to 10, it's a very
80,
personal 10.
86.
You know, like if you have the E30 configured or the
If it was
Forerunner
an M3.
configured exactly the way you want it for the use, right? Like that could be maybe a little bit of an extra
If it
bump,
was
right?
a
Is the E30 built
2000
for?
GT?
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like the E30 is a total weekend car, so it's all back roads. So, like, maybe that's the car you maybe you upgrade the suspension, put stickier tires. I don't know, do stuff like that. Like, make it more of a sports car.
Yep.
Than it already is.
Yeah. And then just go OEM plus with the Forerunner. Keep it subtle.
Yeah, I would say just keep
The
it
only-
reliable.
Yeah.
I think the only way you downgrade it is by wrapping them both in a Gulf livery.
I mean,
That
that's
takes
one way.
that takes you
goes
straight to a
Next
4.
question.
You could also wrap it with martini livery.
Yeah, that's true too. Alex Stadel says, if Ali had to choose a third 70s era rear wheel drive car with rally history to own, what would it be? He's thinking, folks. His eyes are closed.
he's-
Does it have to be different than what
No.
I have now?
Well,
It would be.
But if it's like a
well,
it would be
variation
an
on the theme.
Alpina
Race history.
It would be an Alpina 2002 rally car.
okay, it has to be
Like a
different
big
than what you
cheap,
have right
like-
now.
That's pretty similar.
Yeah,
I
It
thought
has
you
to
were
be
gonna go-
different than what you have
Okay.
right now.
I thought you were going to go like like a different model of BMW, but
70s,
70s,
early 70s.
rear wheel drive.
And I'm just gonna omit 911 because that would be my natural choice. Or
No.
No,
I mean, what rally with rally history? Yeah.
dude,
There's some rad
70s 911s are like all over the place.
Yeah.
So that's the easy answer. But I mean, there's so many cool Toyotas, early Mitsubishis. There's like,
Baja Bug.
it's kind of, I mean,
It's like right at the end of the Baja Bug reign.
yeah, but the problem with the Bugs is if they won because they just made it at the end. They
Hey.
were never fun to drive.
Well, to finish first, you must first finish.
I don't know what you're saying right now. I would say late set. I don't think it's going to be any of the late 70s stuff because
Mini Cooper.
Mini Cooper
That's
is a good
front-wheel
one.
drive.
Oh, is it rear wheel drive?
Oh, rear wheel drive. Yeah, I would probably say one of the cool, like, oh, I know what it is. It's a 71, 72 Celica ST or Celica like rally car, like the one that ran
Yeah.
in African Safari Rally.
Yes. That's a good one.
Yeah, that's the one.
Alex wanted
over-
you to say like
over a
RX4
240Z.
or something.
Talk about
I mean,
rare.
RX3 SP rally car would be pretty rad, but I want to make the end of the rally. So
Rare as ice on
Toyota.
that Toyota. Lars Brunkhorst says, if you had an NA Miata with trash paint, torn top, and bad interior, but in very good shape mechanically, would you go Exoset for full sense of occasion?
Nope.
Cars for weekends and track days, have a daily for actual car use. So would you go full Exoset? No.
No.
I would,
It just
they
makes
say
it,
never go XO. Full X.
Never go full Exoset.
it does make it very hard to use it for anything else.
They're also very ugly.
They are very ugly. They're the ugliest.
Yeah.
I mean, other than a
I mean,
in this
I don't know what else.
exact moment, you know what I would do with it?
Throw it in the trash.
Put a Myers-Manx body on it.
can you do that?
what?
Yeah.
No,
on the Miata?
Yeah.
No, I don't believe anything.
Similar wheelbase.
I don't see why you couldn't
The
actually.
Myers-Manx Resorter, the 2-row.
Oh, the 2-row.
Yeah.
2 rows the ish.
You have an opportunity.
Are we
Myers-Manx Resorter.
are we gonna get
We're getting the
2-row?
2-row.
Just
Yeah.
bugs me with the Myers-Manx losing
I
that.
got that confirmation.
That lower class, the
Will be the first.
sill is missing on a Myers-Manx. You just have this
Yeah, but
emptiness.
but you can kind of like if you look
Can you
at some
fill
of the-
that in
yeah,
somehow?
So
Oh, you mean like underneath?
like where you walk in, get into the car underneath. There's just like a black.
the last time I
So
was
like
there,
the new one, the
Still,
electric
it looks
one is
great,
all covered,
which
yeah,
looks amazing.
sick.
So
But if you're talking about putting this on a NA, it just looks like this. I don't know how to
It's a
describe it.
fiberglass tub. You
It's
mean?
a tub that just
so there was
fits over it.
was a Baja Myers Manx race car in the shop at Myers Manx the last time I was there, and it had this like really rad kind of like metal formed rocker that went under that kind of like brought the bottom out. It
Yes.
made it look really beefy.
Yes.
It was really cool, and it was just
I'm
like a fabricated thing.
I'm on board with that.
But I think like a long wheelbase Myers Manx, like the Resorter, which is the two row, on a Miata chassis, would be sick.
Man, I gotta see it.
Super janky.
What about the fact that it's
like,
front engine, rear engine?
Yeah, I think it's all janky. I wouldn't do that. It's cool in concept, but I just kind of went through the whole project in my head, and it's totally not worth
It's
it.
not good at all.
Yeah.
You have a big hole in the
Yeah,
back. Where
it's a
motor's
lot
supposed
better to
be.
just do a Super Beetle with a really, really good motor in the back. But,
Exoset set just feels so unusable to me.
yeah,
It's very.
I would
unusable.
almost try to figure out how you could kind of do like a little like SP2 minimalist, like just clean up what's there.
SP2?
Kind of like how a Ferrari will do like an SP2 Roadster, where
Oh, I
it's
see, I
like
see.
everything is just kind of like
Right,
cleaned up, but
right.
don't like shave everything.
But NAs are pretty clean.
I
There's
know,
not
but you can
much
still
there.
do some.
But
cleaning
he's
up
saying
in
he
the
has
interior,
he's saying he
like-
doesn't want to replace the
Yeah.
top.
Yeah.
So put like a cover over that
Yeah,
area.
exactly. Put a
thing.
tonneau over it, and then like the door panels may be torn up, so just do aluminum door panels.
Have you seen those?
and
Like,
just almost make kind of like a little like maybe
Well, they make like those plastic.
yeah,
door
exactly.
panels or
Just
whatever.
kind of make it a very very basic like a
Minimal.
Lotus. What is it? The Elise.
Yeah.
Kind of a build like what you
or
would
like a 550 Spider
Yeah,
or like
exactly.
an AC Cobra, right?
yeah, and
Like
nobody's
that.
really done that before.
well, they do have those like British-looking Roadster body kits for Miatas that have like different headlights. and
Oh,
grill.
yeah.
You know what? That Ant Anstead like Formula One looking thing
Oh,
uses
the-
a Miata chassis.
It does. The Alpha.
No,
Yeah, it's like the old Alpha.
Oh, no, it's an
no,
Alpha
it
or
uses an
Male?
Alpha.
There isn't. No, but there's
Yeah,
a Miata
No,
kit.
There's a Miata one.
Oh, I
There's a
thought
Miata
it
kit.
used.
No,
I thought it used an Alpha Spider.
No, he did, but I think he made the kit to be for NA.
Oh,
Miatas.
okay.
Yeah, he made it for NA Miatas.
That'd be.
But that's so expensive.
Yeah,
mean,
I would just do kind of like a cool, clean like 550 Spider or like 60s Lotus like Roadster build, and just keep it. And nobody's done that.
saws all the windshield.
No,
First thing.
don't mess with the windshield. Make sure
Don't
the door
pull.
stays
Never go
in.
full Brad Bernal.
Yeah, don't shit.
like
don't-
motorcycle mirrors.
No, just take
and,
what's there.
jet ski
If you
seats.
have to pull out the Bondo,
Jet ski
then you've gone
seats.
too far. Jet ski seats. What are you talking?
I was trying to appeal to Lane. I meant slingshot.
All right.
Cam Grace says, "Let's hear some F1 chat. Will anyone else win a race this year on outright pace and strategy?
No, on
Does-
merit. No,
Does Aston have second locked up already?
I don't know.
it's
They,
looking like it.
Locked up?
Seems like
Second
they-
race?
seems like they got some problems in the pits.
Definitely not.
It's
Mercedes is
looking
coming out with
like
a whole update. Ferrari's
Yeah, let's see that.
sort of
Mercedes is coming up with an update that is unproven. They're not just like fixing what they have now. They're
But it's
starting
Mercedes.
over.
You got to give them the benefit of the doubt.
I mean, it's been a year and change.
It's been a while.
It's been a while.
We watched the race here at Beeline.
Yeah, I don't know. If, yeah, I think Ferrari's right there with Aston right now.
Yeah.
So I don't know about that, but
And I think Mercedes could definitely.
but I definitely think
some
Red
things.
Bull is gonna.
Yeah.
I think on merit they are the fastest car, and they probably will be till the end.
Yeah, I don't think it's a race for first anymore. It's a race for that second, third.
But that being said, I don't think Red Bull's not going to win every race. Something's going to happen,
yeah.
right?
They'll make
Like
a
we've already
mistake
had
or-
reliability issues
Totally.
and stuff.
Totally.
There's going to be crashes. There's going to be, and if Checo like thinks he can compete, so then they might get a little
And do we
tangled
really,
up.
really think Stroll is going to be able to, hold his own for the whole season?
Yeah, I don't
You need two to tango, right, Nick?
As they say.
Yeah, I think I think what we're seeing right now in F1 is going to be very, very different 3 or 4 races from now in a lot of different ways. I think teams are going to get a little bit mixed up. I think new things are going to show up on the track, and
Red Bull has like I heard one stat is
but I still think Verstappen's going to win.
Aston has 50% more wind tunnel time. It might be 100% actually, twice the wind tunnel time. So like their development throughout the year is going to be way greater than Red Bull's. But Red Bull is like over a second faster than the next team. on track right now?
Yeah.
At
gonna be
race
That's
pace?
going to be hard to beat.
Yeah.
It's going to be hard to beat. Next race is Australia
Yeah.
coming up.
Good eye.
It'll be fun
And
to go
this is the first time we've been to Australia in like 2 years or 3 years since COVID.
Oh.
And they've changed the track a little bit too.
It'll be a fun race to watch.
yeah. Always seems like
It's,
a good
it's at a fun time too, right?
Fun time.
Every
Great
time it's fun.
No, like Saturday night at
all
like
fun.
9 p.m. or something.
Oh yeah, you're right, huh?
one. That is fun. We were just talking about doing a little kicker at one of the breweries here in Santa Cruz for
Is it this
F1.
weekend?
No, it's
Next weekend.
following.
Okay, if I'm in town and if it's on like a Saturday night or something, we should do it at the that old place.
Okay. Ben Roget says, "What is Ollie's favorite dish to cook for dinner?" Well, I can tell you this. I've been to Ollie's house. He has a very pro barbecue setup. Is that
What are you
something?
cooking?
Yeah, what's on your
Last
oven?
night, I took the night before last. I took some chicken thigh, boneless, skinless chicken thigh,
Okay.
and then I
7-Eleven?
marinated it
7-Eleven?
7-Eleven style.
Yeah.
I chopped up some white onion, and then I added some of my favorite sesame teriyaki sauce.
Soy veggie.
Oh, is it very, very?
Yeah.
I don't remember. Maybe
Very, very
It's the
teriyaki.
one-
Soy veggie.
whatever.
Yeah.
It comes in like a little 2-bottle
When
pack
a Jewish
from Costco.
man met a
Soy veggie.
yeah.
Yeah.
Felton, California.
So, and then I put it in a Ziploc bag,
Ooh.
put it in the fridge overnight.
The fridge. Got it.
Refridge.
You refridged it.
And then I barbecued it, and we had it with some roasted Brussels sprouts and salad. It was really delicious.
Okay. So that's your favorite, you're saying?
That's definitely not my favorite. My favorite thing to cook, I would say, is Persian kebabs with rice.
Ooh.
Okay.
Like it's
Down.
generally-
Saffron rice?
Chicken? What are we looking at?
No,
ground
so
beef?
the best is
Lamb?
I'll wait for you to finish.
Dog?
Kefta.
No,
Vegetables?
no. I take
Vegetables. Worst kebab ever.
either tenderloin or top sirloin prime. Cut it, and I get the steaks, and I cut it into 1-inch cubes.
I just
or
love
maybe
that he throws out prime.
I know.
So, like, that
Yep.
matters.
Yeah, inch and a half.
Prime?
The story doesn't
inch and a
matter
half
at
to
all.
2-inch cubes, actually. And then I marinate
cubes.
it in. This is so specific. You're gonna get so
love it.
annoyed.
I love it.
So annoyed.
Get in there.
All right. So the thing is that marinating meat with onion is really, really good. It brings out a lot of flavor, and the onion cooks really nicely. But the problem is when you're grilling, especially on a hot flame, you don't want the onion pulp on the meat.
The pulp?
The pulp, because I grate the onion and
grate it?
marinate the meat with grated.
Yeah, like a
onions.
road. Grate it to a
So
certain.
what I
Like
end up
give it an
doing
A?
is I put onion in a food processor, and then I take the after it's all pureed,
Yep.
I drain the onion liquid.
Are you just bawling your eyes out at this point in the
that's all
fucking
right.
recipe?
I'm over it. I take the
Over
onion
it? You-
liquid.
Mind over matter with the
Yeah.
onion?
I
Damn.
take the onion liquid and then I marinate the beef in the onion liquid with a little bit of turmeric, salt, pepper, cumin, and I just let that
allspice.
Saffron.
saffron, and I let that sit overnight. I take the onion pulp
Rosewater.
and I mix that with the ground beef with the same spices, turmeric, salt,
we heard
pepper,
him. Yeah, we heard him.
and cumin. Then
What
I
about turmeric?
then I take those and I grill them.
Well, so
The
you
ground
have two
beef
things
goes
going
on skewers, kind of like kufta kebab, like
Yep. But then
Nick said.
but then the cubes go on
Then the
skewers too?
the cubes get skewered also, and then if you really want it nice and tender, you hit it with a meat tenderizer.
It's obvious.
After you've skewered it,
After
you skewer it, put it, and then hit it with a meat tenderizer, and then
interesting.
you put it on the grill, and then the hottest possible grill you could make.
Do you ever consider using the fishing pole's fucking
Well,
pole guy?
if you've seen Ollie's,
my meat's
if you've
too
seen
delicate
Ollie's
for
grill setup, he does have like an auto rotating.
Yeah, I do have a
Is it variable speed, by the way?
It doesn't need to be variable speed.
Just checking.
It's the
I don't know if you got a little potentiometer on that bad boy.
It's tuned. The gearing is just right.
33 and a third.
It's
Simon made that thing, right?
he made
He
the
made the
frame for it,
frame? Okay.
and then but the whole gear setup and all of that stuff. Basically, it's a whole stainless steel roller chain on stainless steel sprockets with 12 rotating kind of little pivot holes or that are kind of on little pilot bearings, and the chain kind of goes through the whole thing and rotates all of these things in opposite direction.
How often do you have
And then
to
it
change the tensioners?
That you don't need to. The
Like a BMW.
So
By the way, serious.
It's a manual tensioner, I
The
imagine.
cool thing is that I made it with a replaceable rotisserie motor. So you basically buy a rotisserie motor off of Amazon. If the motor fails, you just go get another one. And so you use a standard barbecue rotisserie motor, and it rotates this whole assembly of 12 skewers.
Let me
But they
ask you
counter
this.
rotate?
They counter rotate
like-
adjacent to each other.
Let me ask you this: how often do you use it?
At least 5 or 6 times a year.
Oh, I thought you were going to say a month.
Me too.
Yeah.
No, the thing is that the firebox is quite big, and it takes a lot of it's a pretty good production getting a fire started. It's even more work than a green egg because it's a really kind of
I think we're due for a backyard kicker.
yeah. This weather is perfect for that.
Great.
Yeah, it'll be nice.
It's awesome, right?
Yeah,
Okay. Good talk.
we'll probably do a barbecue again this year.
Barbecue.
Oh yeah, your little barbecue. I forgot about
Yeah,
that.
what month is that?
I've never been
usually?
able to
Barbecue.
It's a couple of weeks before Car Week.
Oh, Warren's never gone?
I've only
Never
been
can
to
make
the
it.
car taco event.
Wait, you've been to the barbecue?
Yeah,
There was there was like an Al Pastor guy out front.
Oh, yeah.
It wasn't Ali with the
He was
counter rotating
barbecuing.
kebabs.
Yeah, that was
Carco?
Yeah.
all right. Next
Croco?
question.
Car Pastor.
You're gonna interrupt this gold. Bobby Reed at the Cars says, if there were a DWA podcast drinking game, which of your phrases would get listeners drunk the fastest?
Oh.
Well, the word "like" would be way up there.
Oh yeah.
Fuck would be pretty good.
I don't say that often.
I mean-
Sense of occasion.
Let's see. What else?
Ice?
Ice.
As ice, yeah.
As
That's a
ice,
good one.
yeah. Well, we have this. Someone made
Wasn't
a
that
game.
there was a bingo, right?
Yeah, someone made a bingo. Remember
yeah.
DWA car memes?
Oh yeah, it was narrow roads.
And it was great. Yeah.
Analog. I feel like analog would be up there.
Sense of occasion. Analog. Narrow roads.
I'm looking at. Oh, here it is. Yeah, nicely screwed together. Bumpy roads, power tailgate, hate. Oh, Art can't do 4-wheel drive. Mud flap clips, tire talk.
Period of time,
But this
mud
is
flaps.
words, right? So sweepers, sick, back in the day,
rad, obviously.
shouts out,
Oh, shouts out.
slow steering, short wheelbase, twisties,
Traction control.
automotive generations, man,
Oh, generations.
testing waters. My go-to. That's a good one for Art. My go-to.
Having said that,
Too nice to swap. Having said that,
Did anybody say yeah, no yet?
that's a good one. Segway.
Yeah, no.
I've always loved them.
That's my favorite.
Too wide
For
for.
Art, that's my favorite.
Dot, dot, dot.
Everything's his favorite.
Yeah, I've always loved them.
Yeah.
Bespoke.
Slow car fast.
slow car fast.
Okay, fast. Yeah,
But the word "like."
yeah.
would
Like
get
is
you
definitely the
fucked up.
word.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Rocket Tiki Motorsports says
Whether we use it correctly or not,
absolutely.
because a lot of times we're saying it's like this car or it's
acceptable.
like
But
that.
are you
Yeah.
supposed to say it's similar to, or it's akin to?
You
It's
could,
like-
yeah, if you want to break
mean-
out akin, but
Sure.
sure.
What are you in such a hurry for?
it's-
Shut the hell up! I'm taking this. This
It's
goes over here.
Wait,
anal-
what is he here for then?
He keeps going like this. He goes, "All right, next question."
Why?
You teased up Rocket Tiki's question. Belarus is waiting for us on pins and needles.
Get in there. We're getting there.
Get in there, Lewis.
I know. Ali.
Who's Allie?
Rocket Tiki Motorsports says, "Are you guys going to the Laguna Seca IMSA race in May? I will be down there and it would be good to catch up."
Nice. I don't have plans to.
Yeah, no
I didn't know it
plans.
That
was
sounds
coming.
kind of fun.
like
what
IMSA.
are the dates, man? What are the dates?
I probably can't go. My May is booked.
What are you doing this, man?
Dude, I got so much stuff.
Radwoods?
No, actually, no Radwoods. Just trips, things. trips and things.
Summer activities.
Summer's kicking off. Kids
Summer-
get out of school
summer
in May
camping
these
sesh.
days. My day, it was June. Middle of June was the last day of school. Because my birthday is June 13th, and it was always on the last day of school.
Global warming. Just
Yeah,
move-
it's slowly been backing up.
And also, they go to school early, right? August.
Yeah,
is
they go to
first
school
day. We used to
really
be
early
September.
now. Yeah, it was like end of September.
Right.
Or like middle.
Preach,
or
Lane.
something. Yeah. It's
This guy wears New Balances now. He doesn't
Back in my day.
These are New Balance skate shoes, by the
Okay,
way.
you have your phone back. I feel bad. I feel like you're gonna get
talking
mad.
about?
You're gonna get mad at me.
He's like,
Definitely not.
he's doing important business.
One moment, please.
So IMSA race would be cool. There's some other event coming up. Oh, Rensport. That's in September.
Yeah, it's like 6 months away or
It's
something.
a long ways away.
Dude, I think I
can't wait,
forgot
though.
to buy quail tickets.
You didn't forget. It's so expensive and not really. Is it?
Dude, I want to go.
It's
I mean,
Are
I'll
they
be
up?
there, but you guys don't want to go, do you? I'm just joking.
Isn't Ollie always like showing a car these days?
I
Actually,
don't
you
have
did
anything to show unless
slide
I
in
somehow
there.
miraculously sell the Land Rover and the Escort in the next few months.
Dude, how
And-
about the Land Rover?
Yeah.
Oh, I should just enter the Land
Yeah,
Rover.
you should enter a Land Rover and then camp in
just
it
don't bring it.
the night of, and you wake up at the Quail.
It's a good point, Nick. Lodging built
Oh,
in.
dude, you bring all your s'more accessories?
Gotcha.
Just
Land
gonna
Rover
blow a
was
fire?
Land Rover won an award at Quail.
The Land Rover won the most prestigious award at the
Yeah,
Quail, which
yeah.
is the
What?
Parking lot
You didn't
award.
hear about
Oh,
this?
yeah.
Yeah.
Parking lot award.
yeah, those like gnarly cars. Those like a Ferrari.
I gotta
All right.
take
What
up
was
on
that?
that.
F50s and
Land
stuff.
Rover is
Yeah.
for
Dude,
sale
there was, like,
in
a 250
September.
in the parking
Yeah.
lot.
Land Rovers for sale in September.
Yeah.
It's for
The
sale
Land
at the
Rover
Quail.
is
Yeah.
going to be on Bring a Trailer in the next like 3 to 4 weeks. Like I only things left is when the sun comes out next, take some photos and submit the whole thing to Bring a
Sun's
Trailer.
out, Land Rover out.
This weekend. It's supposed to be nice.
Yep, I'll be
When you're in
skiing.
Tahoe. Good job. Yeah, the Quail prices went up quite a bit.
Did they?
Yeah.
Oh, again?
So like a grand or something now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're very expensive. Everyone was kind of complaining, yet they were still buying tickets. So
Okay. I just need to sign up for Press Pass.
Well, I'm
We
pretty
may be
sure
able-
last
yeah,
year it
you
was
get
like
press
you
pass.
I'll get
could
a
sell your
sponsorship
ticket
exemption.
for a 2x. So
Yeah,
I
yeah.
should still buy them.
You
I
know,
know.
people say that. I've had extra Quail tickets several times, and
And
I've
they're not-
always had a hard time selling
They're
them.
not as easy, right? to
and
sell.
it's just there's some idiots listing them on Craigslist. For
yeah,
2X.
there's been a couple of times where I've had a couple of extra Quail tickets, and I'm like, okay, I've asked all my friends, and I put them up on Facebook Marketplace or Craigslist or whatever, and I'm just getting a bunch of idiots. And this is like at face value. One time I ended up selling 2 of them for like $100 per ticket less than I paid, and the hassle to get the tickets to
Yeah.
the person,
Yeah.
like all of this. I think last year I had 1 or 2 extra tickets. I just offered them to all our friends, and a few of us came in, and the rest I just like didn't even use.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's hard, and like you'll see like on the Porsche forums and stuff like that, somebody will be like, "Oh, I have 2 extra Quail tickets, and I still have 2 tickets." So it's, I think those days of when, you know, the Quail is not like as hyped as it was like 3 or 4 years ago, like just before the pandemic, where
Well,
everybody's
and
like,
now
"That's
it's
the
a
place to
$1,000
see."
ticket,
Yeah, now it's
Very
$1,000.
and it
Yeah.
used to be a $300 or $400 ticket.
But I will say that this past year, it was if you could only go to a single event, that was it.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, as
had-
an automotive executive, I have it's like business for me.
Well, congratulations.
And what I'm saying is like this whole thing where
I'm just
people are
saying-
talking about,
Yeah. Well,
you know, it's like the new Geneva. Like every
that's what I'm
executive
saying.
is there.
And
Like
not only that, though, it's a broad scope of the automotive world, right? There was F1 display, there's classic cars, there's brand new concept cars, a little bit of everything in one place. And people are really into the food. It's like, that's so overrated to me. You
Yeah.
know, they call it free food, like
especially
free food.
this year.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
This year
food
wasn't good.
Wasn't that
it
good?
was
And it's an
not
expensive
great.
ticket, so that doesn't mean anything. But
But I
it
also
feels like
think
the
they
place
let
to
way
be.
too many people in this last year.
Well, maybe that's why they raised prices.
And dude, they didn't have beer. So annoying.
Yeah, it was just like cocktails
Yeah, it
and
was
wine.
just cocktails.
Yeah.
They had
And they
wine
didn't
as
have
well.
champagne like they used to. And not as much wine.
I think like Audi had champagne or something. Like one of the manufacturers did.
But they
but
used to
not
they
at
had
the
these
bars.
stands everywhere. And then they also didn't have ice cream. It was annoying.
You've been working with all
Champagne and ice cream is really critical at
Dude,
any good car show.
When you have something and then you take it away, it's way worse, right? Like, here's the year before, they had like 6 ice cream stands throughout, and you just go get a gelato, like a gelato
They just need that homie with the little cart and the bell.
Yeah, that's what they had, dude.
That's all they need.
Yeah, they need the homie. With
the paleta guy with
the
popsicles.
Dude.
That's what's up.
The rice popsicles.
Hey guys,
Delicious.
always ready for the next question.
Okay.
The Tybo says, how butchered is the suspension geometry in a spec E30?
This is like Billy Blank's Tybo.
The Tybo, Tybo.
Oh, okay.
How butchered is the suspension geometry in a spec E30, and how much benefit is there in a well-designed roll center correction kit? My bucket is low.
What's happening right now?
Ali, does that
It's
make
Ali,
sense to you?
ground control question.
If you have proper E30 ride height, you don't need a roll center correction kit. If you're dumped to the ground, you need more than a roll center correction kit, but you also need a roll center correction kit. You probably need a toe correction, a bump steer correction kit. You probably are not even close to getting alignment correct on the rear, so you need to be able to adjust the trailing arm somehow to get even. Okay, now I'm looking at your photo of your car. I would
It's
almost
low,
say,
but it's not like dumped low.
yeah, it depends on
pretty aggressively
there's a few
raked.
things. If you're actually
Unless that's under
if
braking.
you're actually taking the car to the track, which it looks like you are, and it is actually a track car, then what I would do is start by measuring your bump steer, and then measure your static roll centers and see if how far out the roll centers are from kind of what people would consider ideal. But I would say on an E30 especially, it's a little bit more sensitive to bump steer than it would be roll center. So make sure your bump steer is good. Make sure you have plenty of static camber. And I wouldn't be super concerned with the roll center until you're starting.
Wait, how do you
really
measure
fast.
bump steer?
It's not easy. You take the real way to do it, if you have, I don't know, about $400 worth of tools, is you take the wheels off or one wheel off. You bolt what looks like a toe plate to the wheel face. You have to take the spring and the sway bar, disconnect the sway bar and take the spring out of the shock. And then you basically measure toe at ride height with 2 dial indicators, one on either side of the toe plates. And then you take it to maximum compression, measure that again, and then you measure it at multiple steps all the way down to maximum droop. And then that gives you a kind of a curve. And your ideal scenario is that neutral point of where it goes from toe in to toe out should be somewhere close to your ride height. And technically, for example, on I can't remember, E30 is a rear steer car. There's an E30 here. Is the steering knuckle behind the rear axle, or is the tie rod bolt behind the front axle or in front of the front axle?
I'm pretty sure they're behind.
Pretty sure it's behind too.
So then they call that a rear steer car. I'm pretty sure it is also. So essentially, if you think about, if you have the right bump steer, as the front of your car dips or dives under braking, you want the toe to slightly toe out. You want it to slightly toe out to kind of stabilize you as you're going into your braking. What you don't want is for you to be over the curve and slightly toed in, and then as you brake, it goes from toe in to toe out. You want it to already have that kind of natural inclination of just a little bit of toe out in that curve of, because as it goes up and down that suspension sweep, you get a curve. And at some point in that middle of that curve is where it goes from toe in to toe out, or zero toe. And you want to be kind of in that toe out realm by just a little bit, so that as you kind of go over a little hump, like say, for example, going into turn 1 at Laguna, where it kind of comes over, your car gets light. What you don't want it to do is to go into toe in as it's getting light, and then toe out as it starts to load up, because then the front end is just going to start walking on you. And so you kind of have to find that right balance, and it depends a little bit on.
Can you put spacers or something to fix that on E30?
No,
because you can do that on like 911s and stuff.
Well,
like
you can put spacers on the end of the tie rod. So there are tricks on BMWs where on the inside of the tie rod where it ties into the steering rack, there's a kind of a C channel, And so Turner and a few other folks will make a little spacer so you can kind of do some small corrections.
Yeah, it's like a bump steer kit.
Yeah. So there are bump steer kits. And I think for the track stuff, if you're actually running in Spec E30, you're pretty limited and there's not much you can do.
Yeah.
But if you're just running a Spec E30 kit and it's just a track car, then buy a bump steer kit, make sure your bump steer is dialed in. And if you've already done that and now you're trying to get that extra little bit of timeout, or let's say, for example, your car does something weird mid-turn where it goes from kind of neutral to then all of a sudden, as soon as it gets another 2 or 3 millimeters of compression, it goes to understeer, then you may have some roll center problems. And so at that point, then if you're on that kind of fine edge already, then absolutely measure your roll center. There's a bunch of Carroll Smith books that show you how to do it.
By the way, Carroll.
HP Academy actually has a really cool suspension geometry class that you can take. It's like a couple $100. It's all online with a bunch of cool videos and tutorials. That really goes through bump steer, roll centers, instant centers, your roll axis, all of those different bits and pieces, and stuff like roll axis and controlling your front versus rear roll centers on a BMW, especially E30, E36, E46. Those make a huge difference. That's why, like on an E36 or E46, if the rear ride, 5 millimeters of difference in just rear ride height will change the entire attitude of the car. It's because that roll axis is changing a lot, and it's kind of loading the suspension in a different way. So, yeah.
Could you come up with a more thorough answer next time?
Sorry.
Be nice to actually get some real information.
I try.
Fucking idiot.
Time to move on. The real John Webb says, recently some Instagram accounts have featured cars designed by generative AI algorithms. What Radwood era vehicle mashups would most interest you?
Lane's a big fan of anything covered in shag carpet.
Oh, yeah.
That's not AI
Big
generated.
fan. Big fan.
That's not
And that's not a
AI.
mashup either. I mean, unless you're mashing up shag carpet.
Paisley shag
CRX
carpets and
SI
911s.
with a GR Yaris. Mashup.
Wow, you're a real
What is
GR
this
Yaris
GR
fan.
Yaris?
I'm big into the
all
Yaris.
about that Toyota all-wheel drive system.
I'm going to get you a Gazoo racing.
Yeah, we
Sure,
got to
dude.
get a Gazoo racing car.
I'm so down with Gazoo Racing.
What about a Vanagon 959?
So bad. Christ. And you said my idea
Well,
was
that's like the
bad?
Ford Supervan.
Yeah.
Right?
Why is that
yeah,
such a
but
bad
you're
idea?
talking about a styling.
It's a great
thing,
idea.
right?
Yeah, you just add some little things.
Little just.
959 is like the polar opposite of Vanagon styling.
Hey,
but maybe
So you're adding
Could
like
you
weird
imagine a
round.
the AI is going to make it happen, dude.
959 all splooged out like a Vanagon,
Yeah.
all disgusting.
And then
looking.
imagine
if
a
someone did that, you
Vanagon-
guys would send that to me so quick.
Imagine a
I'd be so
Vanagon
pumped
with
on
like
it.
round, weird fender flares.
Yeah.
DWA memes needs to make.
Yeah, dude, I want it.
meme
I want it.
Yeah.
I think a
Overly
Vanagon works better with
disgusting
like
Countach.
Countach, yeah,
Yeah, that's what they've done in the past.
Isn't that basically just an LMO2?
basically.
Yeah, but rear drive and an all-wheel drive setup with cool wheels and
So
Big old
just
turbo
Radwood era
motor.
mashup, just like
Yeah.
whatever.
yeah. How about a anything AMC Eagle with something cool on top of it,
Hmm.
like maybe a AMC Eagle
944.
944. Yeah, exactly.
I don't know. I don't like any of
Yeah,
this.
this is like kind of out of my wheelhouse here.
Too,
I'm not that
too
guy.
hard of a
Corolla.
question.
I'm not that guy, dude.
Yeah, it's tough. I haven't actually messed around with this. Have you guys played with? I've done AI like GPT chat or whatever, but not.
I've never done chat.
I've done the AIs
No,
and the
my GPTs.
I chatted with the GPT once.
I asked them questions and they helped me. I have done
done
chat,
that.
but I haven't done art. Have you guys?
I've
No,
just played with like
let's-
Mid Journey a little bit.
I didn't know it existed.
Yeah.
You've done Mid Journey,
Yeah.
and how does it work?
Is this that
you just-
BNG thing?
You basically just like curate prompts.
yeah,
so
but you would say like Vanagon 959.
you would need some more color than that. You would
Okay.
want to get like a little more descriptive,
Yeah.
like creative Vanagon.
And then what does it do?
959.
It actually makes that
with
yeah.
a
So
picture.
the
I've
latest
seen some of these
and the-
in front of like a fake looking
the
background.
latest version of
Hashi
Mid Journey
has
art
done
is
it?
pretty crazy, dude. Like
You could
it'll
say,
actually
like-
give you like photorealistic images.
Einstein at a rave or
Yeah.
something like that.
No, it's like more.
I saw one. There's like
You could,
Einstein
yeah.
at a
Einstein sign at a rave. Like I'd sign at a rave with like like a vintage Chanel jacket or something. Like the more detail you give it, like the better it's going to be.
You can also say stuff like aged people that are young now, but you could say like so and so when they're 60 wearing this and
you can also be like on Ektachrome 200 and it'll give you like the film grain that's appropriate for that. Like
I feel like I've seen a lot of these and it's like a car in space or something. On Mars or something.
Right. GR Corolla. Mm-hmm. Could do that.
Yours.
Have you used chat?
I've used Chat GPT. Yeah.
I feel like ChatGPT
is that how you write all your papers?
Yeah, all of his executive email correspondence is now just ChatGPT.
The SVB banking updates to the team. I'm like, I can't write.
He's like, tell the team that SVB.
No. I was just like, to chat.
Write an email.
First of all, I wrote them all myself. God damn it, motherfucker. But yeah, the prompt would be like, what does a miserable... Yeah, never mind.
Stop.
Okay. The last question here is from somebody who's cool.
That's it?
Hey, cool
just
guy.
that?
Named.
No
Sorry,
more
I was looking to see if
questions
there's any extra questions. Oh, we got one. Second to last question here is Casey914 says, DWA Rensport get together? ? Yes.
Yes. Maybe.
Already booked. We got the campsites for Rensport for the whole week. How many did we get? 5 or 6?
Is that when we got it? I don't even know what we did anymore.
We got Rensport and we got pre-reunion. Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be great.
I remember that we got them at the same time. They're like, oh, pre-reunion's not on sale yet, but since you're getting Rensport and you're our friends that we yell
I
at.
don't know what happened.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure I booked both.
Yeah, we booked both.
Okay.
So,
yes,
my friend over here with green eyes gets yelled at.
My kids say I have blue eyes, but I say I have green eyes, and they're like, "You're an
Can't even
idiot."
tell. You need to open your eyes bigger.
There you go.
That helps, dude. All right. Good times. Yeah, Rensport. I'm excited. It's a very, very cool event. If you've
How long has it been?
Years.
It's been like 4 years, right? 5 years.
Pedal Commute. Last question. They're going to be a new spec racing series.
They're going to be one?
That's what it says. They're going to be a new spec racing series. But it has to be a utility vehicle, I think. So he's asking us to...
Because he's a mailman, dude.
Oh, yeah. Would you race a USPS LLV? Yeah. A baggage truck from an airport, maybe a Zamboni, or perhaps Japanese K fire trucks. What would you pick? It has to be utility vehicle. So not even like street legal per se.
I mean, K is like K would be actually quite manageable. We could just single-handedly start the series with Clark next door and his existing. It has to be fire trucks though. Couldn't you classify a K truck as a utility vehicle, or does it need to be like a utility in the sense that it's sort of a public works thing?
Yeah, I think it has to have some limitation.
It's like not a Unimog, but a Unimog with a backhoe on it.
Right.
That'd be terrible.
I mean, I guess I'm going to go... I'll go for baggage, airline baggage truck.
Would a semi-truck work?
Yes, Queen.
Yeah. Yes, Queen.
I was going to say yes, but they already race them. So
I think airline...
not fair.
Airline baggage truck with like the articulating trailer setup.
Oh, I know. I'm going jet airliner tug.
Oh, the tugs, that would be good.
They're sick.
They're so sketchy.
They're low.
How slow are
beefy.
they?
They can go pretty fast. So when I was a kid, I worked at private airports and did some of that like towing airplanes thing, and they're fast and hairy.
Hey guys, I'm going to go do that towing airplanes thing.
Rubbing tugs.
So they steer. You stand over the steer wheels and in the back, and so you're steering sort of like a forklift, but you're way on the back of the thing, standing at the very edge of it. I feel like the ones that we had, which were not as large as the ones you would use in a commercial jet, they must have done at least 15 miles an hour or something, like fast enough to be sketchy.
Torquey.
Yeah, they're electric powered, obviously.
This isn't electric.
I have the best idea.
Police spec segways.
Pretty rad. I saw the little 3-wheelers in Jacksonville.
Oh, yeah?
They're weird looking. It's got like fairings and stuff.
Yeah.
What about spec ice racing with the big balloon tire like Norwegian Hiluxes?
That's not a That's not.
Or we Hiluxes are sick.
Now we're just
Yeah,
picking
but
rad
that's we're just doing rad stuff.
I don't know.
Hey, how about
They're
rally
utilities.
cars?
No, but they use them for utility, like delivering mail.
I know,
and
but we
stuff. They're
established
literally
it's gotta
mail
have
delivery things.
It's
in
got to have some
Norway.
limitation. Like it can't just be like
An awesome
those
thing.
rad Iceland 4x4s.
Oh, what about racing snowplow trucks?
Ooh,
could be a thing.
Oh.
Snowcat racing, easy.
Okay, with
Zambonis.
the
Yeah,
Zamboni.
Zamboni was a good one, yeah. But they're pretty slow, right? I feel like a Zamboni
It's not damn, I feel
isn't like a
like that.
ripper.
Very slow. They probably go like top speed like 3.
Forklifts would be pretty sketchy.
Forklifts. I'm
Spear
not on that
each other.
series.
Falling over.
You'd have to
Down.
it'd have to be like forklifts. You know, you can.
How about the stand-up ones? You know,
Oh yeah, that'd be cool.
kind of sweet.
Yeah.
The Crown ones are the good ones.
What's a crown?
Crown branded.
Oh, Crown brand.
Crown company makes really, really good stand-up forklifts. Sorry.
Mail truck.
Racing forklifts, no less.
So wait, he was telling me about his mail truck. I think he has like killer off.
I mean, why isn't the answer just like a?
Because he's up in the.
Killer?
Well, it has good.
Knobbies?
Some BFGs on it.
It has
Yeah, he's
like
up in
BFGs.
Bonnie Doon and stuff.
First of all, by the way, I saw the new Oshkosh mail truck that's coming out.
They're gnarly.
No, dude. In real life, it is the most disgusting thing you can possibly.
How
look
did
at.
they not make those electric? Like, I don't understand how
They're
that one.
so
I am
crazy.
calling out whoever
An
has
Oshkosh
at
Bagosh.
Oshkosh and their stupid clothing brand. They're not their clothing brand.
Yeah, the
This
kids'
is,
clothing.
I would say, probably the biggest abomination in automotive engineering. In the
It's
last
Well,
really bad.
also, how did the government? How much did they get paid off to like use
so
that over?
much.
A lot.
Like, I don't understand it at all.
Most
What do they call them? The
inefficient
ducks or
solution.
something?
They look like a duck, yeah. It
I
looks like a
remember.
Homer
They had
Simpson.
some really annoying name for them.
Yeah, it looks like the Homer car. or
Yeah, they're
something.
really, really bad. They're terrible. I just saw an ad. They were like showing it off on an Instagram ad
Yeah,
and
like,
had the
look.
old truck
Yeah.
and then like this sort of I don't even know what it was. Like a piece of glass floats over it and then it transforms into the new one.
Jeez.
It looks worse.
Oh,
Oh,
you know
yeah.
what? How about early gen little male Willys Jeeps?
That's not
I
bad.
mean, that would be pretty sick.
Yeah, that'd be pretty
actually.
rad.
That'd be kind of good.
Yeah.
Kind of good.
That'd be good.
All right.
All right.
That's it for questions. What's up with any project car updates? You guys have anything?
Yeah, I got some stuff. Nick,
Yeah.
tell us about the Escort.
Ollie's Escort is running and driving. I took it for a drive yesterday.
Hell yeah.
But the other day,
How stupid was it?
my first experience driving the car, it is quite an experience. It's very race car-ish. Much motorsport.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's
Because
loud.
race car.
It's mostly everything feels quite solid mounted, but it goes down the road in a straight line and shifts gears. I scared a lot of school children. It was like 3:00 and I was leaving, so like all the kids were coming out, and
It's orange too. So just,
it's fucking
so
loud.
race
It's
car.
orange.
What are you racing
Yeah,
it?
kids are scared of orange.
What are you racing it?
It's primarily set up for tarmac and gravel stage rally.
When's your first race? Like,
Never.
Yeah.
I'm never rallying.
Imminent.
This thing.
Imminent.
It's just a childhood dream to have this car.
It's rad.
And
It's
it's like the coolest vintage rally car, aside from something ridiculous like a whatever.
I think being a
Lancia or
CEO,
something
you're
like that.
technically not allowed to drive that piece of shit.
he's not a basketball player.
insurance. I don't know. I'm still gonna drive it a little bit and then probably put it up on Bring a Trailer.
For what? Like no reserve? Just blow it out?
It'll bring a lot of money, dude. It's real Cosworth car. It's a Mexico. I mean, these things are bringing over $100,000 in England.
But you went full SEMA on it.
No, I didn't. This is called a modern rally spec
Tasteful.
Mark 1 Escort. This is exactly how they're
Resto
built.
mod.
Like,
With that turbo and that shifter,
I mean,
that
they use a
transmission.
different. They use a much more expensive. So it could be built with a couple of different engines. You can do a single cam Pinto motor and get between 120 and 160
Is that what
horsepower.
was in it before? I can't remember.
A Cosworth Vega motor that
Oh,
was
okay.
passed on as a BDG, which Cosworth Vega motor makes 170 horsepower on a good day before it breaks. A BDG can make a Millington Diamond 2.7 makes 375 reliable horsepower all day long.
Damn.
Naturally aspirated. So I could technically, if I wanted
That
to make
would
this
be
fully
rad.
FIA legal, I take this turbo Cosworth motor out and I put a Cosworth, either a Lotus twin cam or a BDA, BDG engine in the car. It'll make a ton of power, but it's not worth that headache for me. This is like,
what kind of power do you think the thing's putting down now?
I think right now it peaks out at around 300.
That's what it feels like.
But it's not. It's very peaky.
It is. Yeah, I think it all comes on above 4,000.
Yeah. Once you're in the power and it's going, it is freaking fast.
It's been a long time since I've driven anything with a crash box, and so that was fun. Like once I got it out of the neighborhood here, like that's an experience.
Yeah, just like shifting under power in this thing is really, really incredible. But I think the end goal is that like it's, I think the only Mexico in America. It's got California plates. It's a left-hand drive Mk1 Escort. There's I think 4 or 5 in the country only. And it's the fastest and most powerful and the coolest looking one around, other than maybe Fox's.
We put a bunch of
Fox's like got that blue one that's incredibly beautiful. So I think it'll bring good money, and I have an idea of what's going to replace it.
We put a bunch of modern motorsports electronics in it, built a new wiring harness, put a PDM that replaces all the traditional fuses and relays in the car, and some fancy like steering wheel controls.
Yeah, Nick
for the electronics.
basically rewired the entire body of the car and set it all up with modern, PDM switches and all of that cool stuff. So it should be more reliable on the electronic side and start every time now, hopefully.
Yes. Yeah. There's nothing left that should be weird electronically to it. And the final phase of this is I've got to pull the gearbox off and put the gear position sensor on the Quaife sequential that's in it. And then we can tune it for some fun flat shift action.
Yeah. Anti-lag and flat shift then gets enabled with this one sensor. And so... but I'm not going to go. I mean, I have a whole standalone ECU for it. I have a dry sump system that I can get.
Yeah, there's still a whole pile of parts.
So many different things that I'm not going to do on this car and just give to the next owner and just say, here you go, have fun with it. But it's going to be a completely dialed car when I'm ready to sell it.
I drove it with the old transmission. I didn't mind the old transmission.
I still have it.
But the rear end was a sketchy mess.
Yeah.
Why?
The whole rear end would moved around probably like 3 inches side to side,
because it was
more
leaf
than that.
spring with no panhard bar.
So
like
there's
nothing.
a multi-link under the car.
So if you
now.
gave it the gas, it would just like want to like throw you off the road
The gas.
in a straight line.
Or the beans?
If you gave it the whole bean.
Yeah.
But now
but
it's
like a third of the beans is okay.
Yeah,
roll into
maybe.
the throttle and it's totally straight.
We have a
Rear end
crazy
is-
rear end on it now.
Yeah, now it's full 6-link, like full rally spec.
It must work out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then my wife got a new car. We traded in the GL 550. It was having a couple of just nagging issues that I just didn't want to deal with and wouldn't go away. We looked at the Cayenne. We looked at the X5M, Cayenne GTS. We got really, really close to getting the sign off from my wife to buy a Turbo GT Cayenne. It was a little bit too much. It was definitely way too much money, but it was just too much of everything.
Yeah.
And then after we exhausted the Porsche angle, we went and drove, and the BMW stuff, we just went and drove GLE. And my wife said, she just wants a GLE, but with a little bit more power. And so we found her a GLE 63 AMG.
You were texting us about how you didn't need an AMG.
No, we were looking at the 580.
But then
we want the V8.
And then what pushed you over to the AMG? There was one thing.
This is like this weird dilemma that is kind of, I feel like a lot of people deal with this, because I even think to a certain extent Art's kind of dealing with this too, where it's like you want a premium kind of luxury experience, but in a smaller form factor. So if you think about it, all of the most luxurious like SUVs out there are these like giant 3-row like monsters, right? And so there isn't anything.
I mean, if you go to
maybe a Range Rover Sport is the only kind of, even a Bentayga is giant. We went on
pretty big.
Okay, full disclosure, that's another one that you should add to the game.
full disclosure.
Full disclosure.
Yeah.
But we went and looked at the Maybach. The big Maybach SUV. We went and looked at the Bentley. They were both too big. It was just
they're big.
giant.
Yep.
And so
And the Maybach's definitely more positioned.
The Maybach was our favorite.
To be driven in, though, not.
No, it was a good driver.
Okay.
The Maybach,
the rear seats are insane.
Yeah, the big Maybach SUV was like hands down our favorite.
It's super
It was like drove the best, looks the best, feels the best, but
expensive piece of kit.
It's got that
it was
bouncy
very
mode.
expensive, and it felt very like at this moment, like 5 years from now, it'll feel like an old Maybach.
Yeah.
And it was too big. The main thing was too big. So there's this kind of like weird hole in the market for like a very premium. I even looked at the Alpina. Like, does Alpina make a X5? Nothing.
Because that would be
That would have
kinda
been perfect.
Because they would take they would take a little bit of the
the edge off of
sportiness
it.
out,
Exactly.
and they would add a little luxury.
The perfect ideal car would have been an Alpina X5. I would have jumped right on that car. But so we ended up with the Mercedes had the right balance of like sportiness. It's the slowest of these like supercar SUVs or super fast SUVs or whatever.
Turbo V8.
Twin turbo V8 with a mild hybrid system. So it's like torque fill. You don't feel any turbo lag. It's like
Say one we had last year, Warren.
yeah, it feels really, really good. It sounds good. Way too many buttons on the inside of the car.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
The infotainment is pretty good once you have CarPlay running. But 2023 or 2022 car without wireless CarPlay. So it was kind of a little bit whatever, but my wife doesn't really care about any of that stuff. She just kind of gets in the car and drives it.
Does it feel like her old car in some ways, or is it totally
It feels like her ML.
Yeah.
Because she came out of a GL.
That's right.
And
she had an ML before that.
Yeah, she had an ML 550 before that, and it feels a lot like driving that, but just like everything is refreshed and modern, and you know the turning radius of the stock GLE felt as good as the Porsche with 4-wheel steering.
I question that.
It definitely wasn't as tight, but it felt as like nimble and like maneuverable. I think it has like a adjustable rate
variable
steering
rate.
rack.
Yeah.
So it makes really tight U-turns, typical Mercedes, right? But yeah, overall, and we actually got it below MSRP, and they gave us really, really good price on the trade-in on the GL 550 that we traded in.
You were mentioning though the seats. You said something about.
Oh yeah,
you said that's why you bought
that
it.
was ultimately in the comfort side, the
comparing non-AMG to this.
Yeah, so it ended up coming down to like who has the most comfortable seats between Porsche, BMW, Maybach. The Bentley was a little bit just too flashy and way too expensive for us. We didn't want to spend that kind of money.
And this sounds trivial when you're like, oh my God, you made a decision on the seats. But that's
but
a big deal.
exactly.
Right? It's like why Volvos are so great. They have great seats. You know?
We found a GLE 580.
Yeah.
Which we were like, okay, if we're going to build something, we would build a GLE 580, none of the AMG package, all like full luxury setup.
Yep.
And that's what we would want. So we found something close to that at a dealership in like South San Jose. We went and looked at it, and the seats, like, I don't understand. They had kind of the basic seats in there, and even like the nicer seats, they just weren't very comfortable. And I don't understand why, even in the GLS, they don't just take the S-Class seats and just put them in the car. And anybody that says the GLS has S-Class seats can go fuck themselves. Because I've had an S-Class for multiple years, and nothing compares to S-Class seats.
By the way, I would love to see you get in like a fist fight with someone. It's like, what happened? He fucking said.
He said
it's
GLS.
the same seats as an S-Class.
Okay, except for the Maybach. The Maybach had S-Class seats.
That's a next level.
But as soon as we got in the AMG GLE, those seats were like, oh yeah, these are very comfortable. They're super supportive. They don't feel like the BMW felt like it was trying to be something else, and the Porsche sports seats in the SUV are garbage.
Terrible.
They're garbage.
Let me ask you this: do you ever feel like any part of you wants to argue for a sedan or a wagon?
I asked my wife multiple times.
And
what sedan or what wagon was
I
that?
asked her. I asked her.
Panamera,
Panamera
GT. Or
so I asked her about the Panamera. I asked her about
S-Class wagon, S-Class sedan.
E63S
S-Class wagon.
I wish.
I said E-Class wagon. We went and looked at the Volvo V90 wagon. Is stunning.
Yeah.
I think it's
the new Audis.
I think they're great.
You're into that?
I was like, what about this RS5 wagon?
Right.
Like, let's go all out, whatever. And she's like, get the fuck out of here with your wagons.
Guarantee she didn't say that.
And then
She probably did.
she kind of did.
GTF?
And then I was like, I have an
GTFO.
early reservation for a Rivian. We're going to get a like we can just take this Rivian reservation instead of giving it away. And she's like, no. And ultimately, at the end of the day, she wants what she's familiar with.
What about in the middle of the day? Where was she
And she wants an SUV.
First thing in the morning.
Yeah.
First thing in the morning, she wakes
First thing in the morning, she didn't
was
want
fine.
that. She just wanted.
At the end of the day.
She had different
At the end of the
feelings.
day. Yeah.
Okay, so
anyways, she wanted an
sitting
SUV.
up high? Is
Yeah.
it?
Yeah.
What else?
That's it.
That's
she
it,
wants to be
right?
able to like throw like baseball bats and stuff.
You
in
can
the
do that in a
trunk.
wagon.
You know, I mean,
Dude, but it literally
funny,
is
like, with-
that,
it's
Warren.
just
I mean,
sitting
you
on
know,
high.
your
Yeah.
wife, Sarah has a.
I'm just trying to like.
It's
I
sitting
want
up
to know
high.
the
but
arguments.
it's like it's the you know what it is. Sarah has a.
But Sarah's
an
less
SUV.
so-
you know
like-
what it is, man.
She would go with the Mini Cooper.
So
if
I know,
they made a
like
cool
with
one.
Heidi, my wife, she had a
What'd
Volvo. She had a Volvo sedan, and then I remember she was just like riding with her. I'm like, Jesus Christ, dude. For one, she's not paying attention to like the crowns in the road
Yeah.
and just scraping over the crowns in the road. Because she's driving, she's not like, oh, I need to slow down now and go like, go a little
Well, that's just.
sideways or whatever.
Yeah.
But this is what SUVs afford you.
Then you don't have to think about.
You
that
don't think
anymore.
about
Just
it, and people
charge over.
that's the way a lot of people
With-
drive. A lot of people that aren't into cars, they just kind of drive their car from
Yeah,
here
yeah.
to there,
Yeah.
and then also like maneuverability. Even though it's like they're kind of big in a parking lot, to sit up high, you can like judge a parking space easier. All
And
that
now
stuff's
the
easier.
fact that
right?
all the 80% of the traffic you're around is high,
Dude, and all the
as well.
headlights are high,
and they're
and-
smoking weed.
They're both high in terms of ride height and in terms of their mental state. With young kids, because I have very young kids, 1 and 3. Like my wife she thinks that loading them into the SUV is quite a bit easier because
Yeah,
you're just like
it is.
up instead of like sort of in
And then
leaning
reaching over.
And then you've got the whole convenience of like opening the tailgate and
Totally.
changing kids and doing whatever.
When I
So
was
from
having
that
to-
standpoint, it feels like a hard sell to get him back in
When
an
I was having to
SUV.
buckle in Andrew, he can do it now himself, but in the wagon, I have to like get on one knee.
Yeah,
and, like reach
it's a whole
over.
thing.
In my truck or whatever, it's just like I'm
Yeah.
standing up,
Yep.
buckling him in.
I mean, it's a compelling thing, right? A mid-size SUV is highly functional.
It is. I just feel like you were in a position to be able to pick essentially any car. I mean, you're talking about the top end of all segments, right? Like you're
Yeah,
talking
well,
Rolls
I'm
Royce,
not gonna-
Maybach, but you could have got a Panamera GT, the wagon. What do they call them? Turismo Sports.
Something.
Some shit like that. Too many words.
You mentioned, I mean, all the other cool, like new E-Class wagons are rad. They look awesome.
Yeah,
But
everything is rad, but
you just can't get away from the height.
Well, it's more than that. I think.
Once
it's
you
just
go-
everything.
once you go
It's
SUV.
it's the familiarity of having the size of an SUV and throwing bags in the back and like, fold the seat
I'm not listening
down.
to bags in
I
the
think
back.
despite what
Yeah.
Wagons
It's
go-
the
also-
height factor.
height.
The height
despite
factor.
also everything that Ollie's saying with like looking at these Bentegas and stuff like that, even the Porsche Cayenne for 170 grand
Turbo
or
GT or
180
whatever.
Turbo GT, I don't think he would ever pull the trigger because
I definitely
at the
wouldn't
end
have
of the
bought
day,
anything.
at the end of the day,
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's his wife's car.
Yep.
Yeah.
She doesn't give a shit.
I know.
And
Yeah.
she's gonna get
It's
door dings and she's
Yeah,
gonna
for sure.
like right.
Yeah.
It's like the kids are gonna slam the door open. And
I literally
There's probably gonna be
looked
some
for,
yogurt
like,
in
I
the
was
back
like, how
seat.
much
Yeah.
sidewall
Yeah.
does this car have?
Yes.
Like
That's the other
yeah.
thing is like the AMG, you lose that.
No, you don't. It's got.
Did you
big
did you
bubbly
get
tires
the
on it.
big 20 the
No,
deuce deuces
it-
on there?
It's
Bubbly
got the
tires?
it's got the small
it
20.
has
inch.
20
Deuce deuces with the low pros.
It's funny that
Dude,
20s
it-
are small.
Yeah,
now.
it
That's-
looks like it
yeah.
looks kind of like a little mean bulldog, like with big fat sidewalls.
Is it a rare special
Rare
bulldog?
special.
It's
Or
not
is it-
rare and
no.
special. Drinking
just
game
a-
name.
It's kind of
Right
rare.
there, dude.
Oh yeah, rare special bulldog
that
is
was my
that you got to
next point,
do
is like-
2 shots for that one.
Sidewall, more sidewall, the better.
Absolutely.
And you know who does that well is the domestics, not Escalade, but like the Tahoe.
Yeah.
They make
Yeah, we were like
sidewalls.
the Cadillac and all of this stuff, but then I was thinking like I'm gonna spend the
Infotainment on
same
that
amount-
Cadillac is horrendous.
I was gonna say spend close to the same amount as this.
Cars are also huge.
First of all, the AMG was one of the, aside from the stupid like Maybach and Bentley, but like, in consideration with a Porsche Cayenne GTS or BMW X5M, the AMG was the cheapest, and and it was a reasonable price. Like ultimately, like Lane said, I'm not going to spend $150 or
No.
$200 or $300,000
on
for
an appliance.
what my
essentially.
wife is looking at as an appliance.
Yeah, I mean, you should have
Right?
just got a minivan, but that's another.
No,
podcast.
she has
Dodge-
fun with it.
Dodge Caravan.
Should
She
have bought a Kia
definitely
Telluride.
exactly.
Yeah.
exactly. Or Genesis,
she enjoys the performance of the car.
does she?
She does actually.
Yeah?
It's pretty rad.
Oh,
yeah,
that's cool. That's good. Well, I'll have to check it out. I haven't seen, you haven't posted any pictures or anything.
It's a car, dude.
It's just a car. It's literally just a car. And then right at the same day or the day before or the day after. 2 days after. Picked up the Rivian.
Lane popped your thunder.
Popped the cherry on the Rivian.
Popped your thunder.
Yeah. Lane's perspective is a little bit different than mine. I think I'm not.
Lane expects to be comfortable in a car immediately.
Yeah.
And if he's
I
not,
think a lot. I think the biggest.
I expect the car's regen braking to be consistent. Yeah.
I think the biggest problem with the Rivian by far is the throttle pedal itself.
It is the throttle pedal is this long.
I compared the throttle pedal throw today because I came.
Like that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, the travel.
Yeah. The travel of the throttle pedal in the Rivian is about 2x of the F250 Super Duty. Yep. I'm not joking. It's crazy.
Like that's not adjustable.
Does it feel like
no?
Does it
like from
does it feel like it's linear, Ollie, or does it feel like the first half is dead?
No, okay. The first part is dead, then it's a little jumpy, and then it's pretty linear.
So it has like a bunch of different personalities.
It's really horrible.
But also, if you're for example, Ollie is pretty short. If you're like Ollie, and even like the way I am, if you're like comfortable, and then you're like, oh, I have to press the gas all the way.
You actually so you lift your heel off of the carpet. So what happens is you lift your heel off the carpet, you accelerate, the car pushes you back into the seat, your foot comes off the pedal, and you go forward, and then your foot goes on the pedal, and you get this like little oscillation every single fucking time. And if any Rivian engineers are listening, including friends that I have there, go fuck yourself.
By the way,
your
e-throttle, dude. How
like you can just remap the throttle and put a new throttle stop
and put a limiter on the thing. Yeah, put a stop on it.
Put a screw stop.
I would say every single time I get in the car, I am so frustrated with the throttle.
It's funny, but I think it's your height too, because I'm not. It's not like I notice it, but I'm not bothered by it. But I'm bothered by other stuff.
Do you think this is just your car, or are they all?
No, I've driven
3 or 4. I've driven 4.
I've driven 3. Right?
Yeah, it's all the same.
Oh, I've driven 4.
Damn.
They all have that problem.
It's not a problem. It's just,
it sounds like a problem. I mean, that's not a good design.
It's the way they are.
Yeah, and you know,
this one is better than the one I originally drove, that Ollie and I drove. It's better not in that, not in the distance, but in the touchiness,
the sort of mapping.
Because with the first one I ever drove, it had you'd like go a half inch on the throttle dead, and then it would be like this like lurch, because it would be like an on-off switch. This one's a little more progressive in that part. There's still like a little bit of dead, but it's more, you can be a little more progressive and smooth with it.
And there's probably I will attempt to defend the decision to put a throttle pedal like this in this vehicle, because there's probably one like super narrow-minded engineer that wants like infinite throttle modulation because it's the ultimate 4x4, and you want to be able to like
different modes.
But like stuff. That's the 0.1% of the time using it. Like just make the sensitivity go up and change the throttle curve. Like I don't even think it has mode dependent throttle curves. So it's. Yeah, I really, really dislike the throttle pedal, and I've already.
But you love the rest of the car.
Other than the throttle pedal, it's great.
So what about
the minor aspect of a car?
Yeah, that's right. Wouldn't that be a part, like a supplier part that other manufacturers use? Why do they have such a weird pedal?
So they probably use some.
The thing is, the part isn't
an off-the-shelf unit, but you could.
Isn't the problem. It's how it's tuned.
But no, you were saying
you could mechanically
2x to a Ford. So how do you all of a sudden
mechanically change?
You mechanically limit the throttle.
Right.
You just put a limiter in the throttle mechanism
Yeah.
itself to limit the throw. But what it is that, you know, they're a startup. They're having a hard time getting components, and they probably had one or two throttle pedal suppliers that they could use, and they just chose whatever geometrically fit the best, and I don't blame them. I think honestly this is a software fix away from being a non-issue. I think they're looking at the throttle pedal simply as like a potentiometer, and they're not treating it as a kind of a rate. This is way too in the weeds, but they're not looking at the throttle rate, they're looking at throttle position. And if you look at throttle rate and then you couple that with throttle position, you'll get a lot more natural inputs into the throttle, because then you can kind of build some filters around how fast somebody is pushing or how slow somebody's pushing. Because there's even times where I'm sitting in traffic where I'll go over like a pothole or an undulation, and my body moving in the seat makes the throttle kind of go in and out. And it's like the most annoying thing in the world.
GM trucks, like the new ones, have a really soft throttle pedal. And the same thing, you go over bumps. And I think if you're not used to it, you can definitely get that. Like,
because there's no intelligence in that
wobble.
Throttle algorithm.
That's not great. It's not great. Otherwise, good car.
Otherwise, I love the car.
Okay.
Everything about it.
Other than that, and the regen braking and the CarPlay.
Yeah. No CarPlay is annoying.
Regen, I've never had a problem with.
Well,
I think Lane's problem was because he was at maximum state of charge.
You're bullshit. It was 50%. I told you that. And it wasn't going down. It was going from Santa Cruz to work.
See?
I charged at work the day before. It's definitely an issue, dude.
Well, actually,
like,
and
all of a sudden have no regen braking.
Yeah, if it has
our friend Marvin
3 times in a. And then, by the way, our friend Marvin got one of these. He got an SUV.
His wife Emily was like, "Oh, it's a feature."
And I'm like, yeah, have you noticed that happens? She's like, yeah, I did notice that happens, but I just thought it was like trying to help me or something. And I'm like, what? And Marvin's like, wait, that's not right.
I wonder if it's trying to coast or something like that.
The car is just telling her how to drive, and she's cool with it. She's like, "Oh, I guess we're doing this now."
Yeah. So to expect a certain amount of braking, and to not have
if it's
that
switching
braking
it off,
is like randomly throughout your trip is not good. I mean, I understand like when you start the car and it's at a full charge to say, hey, you have less regen braking right now because of your state of charge. That makes sense. And you're starting off that way. But to have it randomly, all of a sudden you're like, wait, what the fuck? And then you look and it says, oh, your regen braking has been like disabled or whatever. I'm like, that's not right. Weird. Because that is like driving a car and going to press the brakes and being like, oh shit, my brake pedal is all soft. Like my fluid, like now my brake pedal is all the way at the floor.
It's like driving with the clutch in.
Any inconsistency is bad. Yeah, inconsistency is just bad in anything.
Yes.
So, anyways, that's my main issue. My other issues with the Rivian were all things that I think would be fine if it was your car and whatever. Yeah. And I think they're all software fixes away from being fine, which is what we said originally. Yep. But they definitely need CarPlay. These companies that think they can like do it better than CarPlay, like Tesla and Rivian, and
it must be a cost.
There's like a licensing
fee. It's a lot of money, and then you have to go through them. And
it's probably crazy like
Polestar
$50 million to sign up.
When I bought my Polestar, it didn't have our Apple CarPlay. It got it like 6 months after I bought it, or 4 months.
Do that over the air?
Yeah. So it got it, but like they were like promising it for like it took 2 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. They said it's coming soon. It's coming soon.
It's the biggest no-brainer to me. Why even take on the responsibility of trying to come up with a better interface?
Yeah. It would be, I mean,
I think for Tesla, it started because CarPlay didn't exist when they started. And it's just, there's a big team and like it's just working and all of this stuff. But at the same time, CarPlay just needs to be integrated into everything.
I saw Warren shared it, and you guys have probably already saw it before that or too, but Hyundai's pledge to keeping hard buttons.
Thank you, Lord.
Yeah. It's pretty good because I think someone like coming out and saying that and saying like, we think it's unsafe to have a lot of aspects of the car having to go through menus to change important items like on the road. And I think that's I think them saying that is going to really make it where like, oh yeah, it is unsafe. Like we need to not do this. You know,
every comment, I just looked at it briefly. It was on the drive. It was just all like, amen. Thank God. Finally, everyone wants that.
I hope other companies follow suit.
And Mazda does a really good job of it. They don't tout it. Volkswagen was doing great until this new iteration. And hopefully they'll go back. And
same with Porsche. Up until
Cadillac
992 was
now it's haptic, right?
Cadillac's coming back. They had that Q system, and now they've got like decent.
Honda was good.
Honda was good too.
Like, but they were bad last gen. Remember they had the swipe. The last Type R I drove for the volume, it had this like swiper thing, and it was haptic, and you had to like
so stupid,
so horrible. Bad. Yeah,
it's very easy. Fan speed, volume, just leave those alone.
Yep.
Any other updates or anything before we get to trivia?
Got a new transmission for my Escort.
Cool story.
No, not for your Escort.
I mean for my 2002.
Oh, nice.
We just like talked about his transmission Escort for an hour.
Finally putting a proper heavy duty built transmission in the 2002, so I can stop blowing that part of it up.
Did you send yours out, or did you buy
no,
one?
I found a junkyard transmission, and then I sent it to Metric Mechanic.
Oh, okay.
And then they went through, welded and reinforced the bell housing and the transmission case. They put in the S14 phase sensors.
I love those things.
And then I don't like those things at all. And so that transmission's going in a couple of weeks. And then just today, shout out to Tyler from Canapa, kicked off the harness for the Motec conversion for my 2002. So we're going to go full Motec standalone ECU on that engine, just because the drivability sucks with the stock ECU.
Really?
Yeah,
thing ripped.
It's fast as hell, but part throttle is still kind of sputtery sometimes, and I can't run the carbon air box and a bunch of other stuff because it's on a Mustang mass airflow sensor with the Miller setup. It's just not great.
Is that going to fix the brakes too?
Probably not.
Not yet. The brakes
Motec doesn't fix the brakes?
I have a whole different. So some friends over at Race Factory are going to help me with the brakes, and we're probably just going to do a full tilt and pedal box. And
Nice.
Because I thought the brakes were the biggest thing with your car. I thought
Yeah, the
everything
brakes-
else felt fine.
the shifter,
It just felt old, like it was like
Dude,
an old
tilt
car.
and pedal
Yeah.
box would be really cool.
Yeah.
So
Rad.
Cool.
I got the M3 out for about 50 miles on Friday. Had lunch with Nick.
sick.
I went up the coast, and a couple little updates I posted on Instagram, but got a touch-up paint kit, which came from like Turkey.
Mm-hmm. As
okay.
they do, yeah.
It's okay. Yeah.
Yeah?
It's fine.
BMW doesn't make one?
Not for this color anymore.
What?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
call shenanigans.
Oh, well,
What parts guy did you call?
my searching didn't reveal one easily.
Did you call Mike Hayworth?
He doesn't work
He
at
doesn't
BMW.
work there anymore.
What?
Yeah.
You
Been a
didn't
couple
inform me
years,
of
I
this.
think.
Hasn't been a couple of years,
maybe
but
a
yeah.
year or something. Anyways,
Shout out.
it was good. Yeah, there was the
Shouts
right,
out should be on the drinking game too.
the right color, but
was.
the bumper's been repainted at least once before, and the car's notoriously hard to match, especially as it fades a little bit. But for touch up, it's all good. It looks way better. It's a
Them Dakar mirrors, huh?
10 footer.
Dude, you guys remember the yellow Corrados and how fast the mirrors on the yellow
Yeah.
Corrados
Yeah.
would fade?
Yeah, they're so
what was up
faded.
with that?
I don't know, but it was like, dude, you just got this car like 6 months ago.
Yeah.
Like my mirrors are faded and they have a little spot that needs touching up. I'm not even going to do it because it would be so bright.
What even happened to all the yellow Corrados?
Dude,
What happened to Corrados?
They-
I mean,
they-
I see Corrados
they mostly went
from
away.
time to time.
Yeah.
that silver one.
Seldom.
That
so
silver
nice.
one is nice.
Yeah, it was nice.
What else? New fog lights, which is really easy on those cars. It's like a little tab that just pops the whole thing out.
Yeah.
Pop it back in.
and they're glass.
Glass, yeah.
And then you put little,
Did you
you
get the
get
tempered
film
ones?
to put on it or something?
Nah, I'm just rocking dirty.
And they're not tempered?
No, not tempered.
You gotta put
It's
some,
gonna be
put
Dangerous
some
as
film on it.
ice.
three
Yeah.
on.
Yeah. Put
Yeah.
some film.
Yeah.
Just raw on it. Clear
Yeah.
bra?
Yeah.
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 But I need so little of it. Do they
Yeah,
sell it
just
in like one?
No, you can buy.
sheet?
Yeah,
I think you get
Dude,
like
I
a
have
like
some.
a
I'll bring you some.
yeah, you
We
get like a
have-
1x1.
I have
like
a.
that.
I have some at work.
Yeah.
I need that. I'm trying to think of anything else major. Oh, I put that battery hold down that you had ordered.
Muy bien.
Little stuff like that. So, but it's nice to get it out. I feel like this winter's been so brutal that it sounds
No.
silly, but it's been crappy for
Dude,
fun cars.
yeah,
I
dude.
have.
Oh yeah.
I've like
This
owned
is like
the
how
box.
the rest of the country
I
lives.
know.
though.
I know it's crazy, right? I feel like I've owned the however long I've owned the Boxster
Yeah.
since like right
You did
before
the
the last
rally.
rally. It has just been raining the whole time.
I know.
Like it's rare I have a chance to get it
Convertible.
out. Oh, I went to Capitola Cars and Coffee last weekend.
Is that your? Are you an old man now?
Yeah,
Old
with
Man
our-
Cars and Coffee, dude.
With
Who
our
are you
boy
going
Philip.
yeah, my
Come
boy
on in.
Philip. Philip,
Philip?
I meet Philip there. I know he's there every time.
Oh man,
So us old men hang out.
nice, nice.
Yeah, well, it's one of those ones. It's like every Saturday.
By the way, 3 years ago you couldn't get Lane to go to this thing.
No,
and then
I
if
would
you-
go. I would
Oh,
go
he
all the
loves
time
it.
with you.
barely. And then if
What,
you
barely?
did, then if he did, he'd go. This it's all muscle cars and stuff.
It
Last
is.
post is all amazing variety at the Cars and Coffee.
There was a great variety.
Seems to be better.
Dude, there's
Way better.
probably 15 Porsches.
Oh damn, dude, we got
Amazing variety. It's all
No, I
Porsches
mean,
now.
I'm
There
saying-
used to be like one,
Yeah, there used to be like the one red 912.
and there'd be the Cadillac with a Marilyn Monroe cut
Yeah,
out.
no, and there still is that whole corner.
The whole-
and
the whole
Marvin
sock-
and
the whole
Mark's
sock
dad
hop
is
scene.
hanging out,
Yeah.
and
Cam snappers.
he has a chair, and
Yeah.
he's like holding court and stuff. Yeah, it's definitely a whole thing. But
Yeah.
there was like some good variety for sure. There was like 240Zs. There was like there was some cool stuff. I mean,
It's gotten better.
but anyways, it's like one of those things. It's such a cheap. It's such like a. it's like a non-event. So it's so easy on a Saturday morning. Kids aren't really up yet. No one's really up. And I'm like, oh, you know what? I'm an old man Lane. Yeah. No, they're all asleep in bed. Yeah. And I'm like, I'm going to go to Cars and Coffee for
like the Alpha?
I took the Alpha once.
Yeah.
I've been like 3 times this year, whatever that,
Yeah.
So I took the 911 once, I took the Alpha once, and I took the Boxer last week. And I parked way off to the side. It's like an easy exit, but I never stay for more than like 30 minutes.
It's perfect.
Yeah, it's perfect.
And you went to a Cars and Coffee in the rain?
I went to Porsche. 2. There was a Porsche one put on by Porsche Stevens Creek and Alexander Steakhouse. It was exactly what you would expect. A bunch of people with modern Porsches standing around asking what options they ordered.
Sick. Cool. I should bring the Boxster.
What color are your seatbelts?
Pebble, guys.
Yeah. And then after that, we went to Autovino because they were doing like a Cars and Cabernet or some
Cabaret would be pretty sweet
bullshit or something.
Cabaret. Yeah.
There were Richard Chen actually came out, and there was a really rad S600 Honda there, just freshly restored but all original.
Those are cool.
I saw Richard Chen brought the Subaru SVX.
Yep. 2 green flat 6 cars next to each other that had nothing to do with each other.
Oh, that's right. That's his post.
And then I saw that one super nice trailer special 454 Silverado.
Unbelievable.
Dude,
C10.
That thing is original owner. Like, it looked like the thing's got like 30,000 miles on it.
That's like the Camping Well Awesome.
It was a dream. It was my dream car. Like, it was, I was like, oh my God.
Had everything, all the little.
So what was the special edition about? It had a badge, right?
It was called here, yeah.
Because they got so fancy with all that,
and
stuff.
It had the rad period correct camper shell. Glass, right? Or one of those.
And it was like extended kind of.
Dude, it was all like modified or built in period with the right parts and all of this stuff. I'm trying to find.
Probably like a 75 or something.
It was called the Trailering Special 10,000 pound GCW with like this glass light top. So it was actually a Vancouver car. So this company Glasslight is in Winnipeg.
Glasslight.
Dude, it is so rad.
It's great.
Giant dive plane bumpers, like
little fog lights and stuff.
Yeah.
Super cool truck. Yeah, those are amazing. There's some cool trucks on Craigslist right now, actually.
Oh, yeah.
Secret time.
Cool, man.
Ready for some trivia?
Yeah.
Nick, you got anything? Any updates you want to add? Okay.
Just status checking the wife and baby's bedtime situations.
I just got a request to buy some children's Tylenol on the way home. So that's about to happen.
At least they're available.
You should be like, yeah, I'm actually can't make it over back home tonight.
Yeah,
I'm gonna stay in a hotel here.
Dream in. I wanted to say shout out to people that might want to come to some Radwoods coming up.
Shouts out.
I don't know if this will come out before Charlotte, but April 1st, Charlotte, Hendrick Motorsports.
It will.
Some NASCAR.
You're going to get to do a tour?
Coming out. Oh, yeah.
Their facility is incredible.
Have you been?
I have not. I've heard so many stories.
It's open for the public during it.
We're selling tour tickets. Yes, they go to charity, but you can tour the engine shop and the Heritage Center.
And the gift shop will be open as well.
That's right. Gift shop's open. Yeah, it's interesting. It's talking to that team and working on this event, it's very easy to forget how big of a deal that is. We aren't in that world of NASCAR, but that people that live in North Carolina in that area, that is just...
It's everything.
It's everything. In fact, there's a mall like down the street from them, and the mall has like a rad go-kart track. It's just like a attraction that we would have, a mini golf.
So I would recommend that you reach out to, or I can, BMW CCA. Mm-hmm. They have a museum that's there.
Oh yeah,
they have some.
But that's in
Spartanburg.
Greenville.
Oh right, Greenville. Yeah.
But right,
yeah, you're right.
There, right?
Yeah, right.
But that's
there.
an hour.
Is that far?
Yeah, I think it's like over an hour.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say if you want any cool BMWs, they may be able to pull something out of their collection and bring it to Radwood.
That would have been useful.
It's not too far to bring some vehicles. Yeah.
Yeah, we have some cool stuff. Yeah. It's always interesting to see what comes out to these shows because their idea of Radwood is totally different from what we think about.
There's like a huge BMW contingent out there as well.
Yep. A lot of JDM too, which is weird. Yeah. Like Austin has the most JDM and you'd think it'd be trucks and stuff. And we get very few trucks and then like a ton of weird JDM because of smog laws and stuff. So, anyways, Charlotte, April 1st, Austin, Texas at CODA, April 29th. And I think we already have a couple listeners and friends coming to that, like John Greco and some peeps, Boss Hog, DJing on the 1s and 2s. And then Philadelphia.
Wait, where is Boss Hog?
He moved to San Antonio.
Oh, really? Okay, I was like...
He was one of those guys who was like, Seattle's a pile of shit.
Oh, really?
I'm out. So anyways, I'll be in Texas. But and then Philadelphia, June 10th. Come on out. And more shows on radwood.com. It's trivia time. Ali, could you do the honors?
Nope. Did it last time.
Thanks, Ali. I appreciate you.
That was really good, Ollie.
It was really nice.
That was actually Nick.
Nailed it.
I'm giving him the credit.
Between 2006 and 2009, Mitsubishi produced a truck called the Raider. What was it based on? Lane's looking at his phone, cheating, obviously.
Dude, my mom is spending it at my house tonight because she can't get to her house.
Yeah, up 9.
Montero.
What were the dates? Between what?
2006 and 2009, Mitsubishi produced a truck called the Raider. What was it based on?
Ali gave my answer.
It's not the Montero, though. It's the fucking... it's the big station wagon Mitsubishi that they had at the time.
The
Diamante
Pajero.
or something like that.
Nick's saying words. I don't know.
That's fine.
Pajero. He's saying Pajero.
Pajero. You're saying...
I think it's the Diamante. Whatever that bigger...
Oh, they did a Diamante
wagon that they had. It was based off of that, I think.
I don't know.
Lane's just giving up. He's like, fuck Mitsubishi.
I don't know.
No ideas?
It's actually, no, it's
A
something
Suzy
weird. I think
Trooper
it's
or
the
something?
Dodge, actually. I think it's a
Mitsubishi.
Dodge
Oh, it could
truck.
be a Dodge.
I think it's a Dodge
it is Dodge.
truck. I think it's a Dodge truck. I remember because we were about to get a free Mitsubishi Raider when we were building the...
What?
Yeah, when we were sponsored by Mitsubishi
what year
for
is this
the
one?
Evo Time Attack car in like 2000.
Oh, it's definitely the Dodge.
It's a Dodge
We're going to
truck.
get a Dodge Raider?
They were going to give us one as our tow vehicle for the Time Attack car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Dodge.
the Dodge, the little Dodge truck.
Yeah.
The Dakota.
Yeah,
Dakota.
Yeah, Dodge Dakota.
We got there, folks.
We crowdsourced the answer, but I'll take all the credit.
No, you should get all the credit. This Dodge Dakota / Mitsubishi Raider was the follow-up to what vehicle?
The Dodge Ram.
No.
I mean, sorry, the
False.
Mitsubishi, your little stupid thing.
Mighty crap.
Mighty Max.
Mighty Max.
Yeah.
Thank
Mighty
you,
Max.
Yeah, Dodge D50.
The mightiest.
Yeah, they had to fill the gap with something.
Yeah,
Have-
Because
have
after
you-
the huge hole that was left behind after the Mighty Max was
Have you heard
And-
about your Mighty Max? What's the latest?
sold it, gave it to my gardener, landscaper. He took it to a mechanic, and they're like, yeah, it's going to take X, Y, and Z to make it good.
He donated
He
it.
sold it to his nephew.
Yeah, who?
His nephew is a fan of DWA. I think he lives in the Central Valley somewhere. Hit us up on Instagram. Was like, I can't believe it. Now I own this amazing DWA Mighty Max.
With the
And
McLaren
that's-
sticker.
That's the last I've heard.
Okay.
All right. Annual sales for the Raider were started off in late 2005 with 2,700 units, 7,000 each year. Kind of trickled down at the end there. Last year of production was 2010 technically. How many Mitsubishi Raiders did they sell in the year 2010?
Dude, I bet those things didn't sell.
372.
Damn.
372. So in 2009, they sold 1,188.
It's probably really good. But I'm going to say yeah, I like that number, dude. You said 372.
72.
I'm going to go, I'm going to take the under. I'm going to say 164.
I guess I got to go over. I'm going to go 420.
You said how many?
372.
The answer is 3.
Nobody's right. Nobody's right.
man.
3.
No.
3.
How does that
I knew there
even
was a
happen?
3.
They just made 3. They just had 3 leftover cars.
Must have been 3 leftover cars.
Any other trivia?
That's all I got
All right.
this week.
I want to give a shout out to.
Shouts out.
I can't find the email. Shoot, and I forgot his name.
Cool, dude.
Right? Is it Ryan Durbin?
Derby?
Derby. He got a Polestar too, and his wife
Oh, yeah.
his wife sent us that email. Did you see it?
No, I didn't see it.
Shoot, dude. Let me find it. 1 second.
This is great.
This is
good.
Amazing
podcast.
radio.
Yeah.
Oh, whatever, dude. Like he
didn't have any time to look it up.
Oh, here we go. I just thought about it. Elizabeth Durbin wrote us a letter, and it's first time writer, 0-time listener. Did you not get that?
I don't. I've been bad about.
That's the title. First time writer, 0-time listener.
It's a strong title.
I'm going to read it. She goes, Lane, Art, and Warren, I wanted to send you a quick note of appreciation for resolving a recent marital conflict of mine. My husband is a huge fan of your show and listens to every episode. He has been planning on adding a Polestar to his fleet of vehicles for some time, largely because of you all. Thanks, Lane. And was planning on getting a vanity plate for it. Upon hearing this, I protested the idea directly and intensely. I took to pointing out every terrible vanity plate I saw on the road, but didn't feel I was making any appreciable progress in changing his mind about this terrible decision. In come you all, who apparently spent a portion of a recent episode educating your listeners as to why vanity plates are terrible. Upon hearing your reflections, his mind was immediately changed, crisis averted. I've never listened to your show, but I feel indebted to you all. Thank you for being out there doing the Lord's work to protect people from looking absolutely not awesome in their vehicles. Best, Elizabeth.
Oh, Elizabeth.
Wow.
You are so
Notice she didn't say
smart.
she plans on tuning in at any time.
No,
She's like,
why would she?
No,
definitely will never
I
listen.
hope she never does.
She'll never hear this, but her husband will, and
Yeah.
he will know that he chose wisely when he chose Elizabeth.
Yeah.
That's all there is to it.
Yep.
That's a podcast.
Bye.
Thanks for joining us.
Adios.
Ali, thanks for joining us.
Arrivederci.
Thank you.
Since Art's not here, I got to do something.
Sleepyhead. All right. Good night, everybody.
Bon voyage.
See ya.